Good morning. You're watching ABC in the morning live on ABC News GH. I am Abna Amante. It's a brand new week, and we are grateful that you're spending your morning with us here on ABC in the morning. We are streaming live on YouTube. It is ABC News GH channel. You should also get interactive with us on our socials at ABC News GH _ and visit our website for all of the credible news you need. abcnewsgh.com. We'll open the lines during the course of the show today so that you too will have your say on everything happening in the country, and you will call us on 053-916-1609 053-916-1609. We'll bring you front story. We'll do all to come your way with Ghana Speaks, where your voice matters. We'll bring you the latest in sports and trends. We will also bring you tech trick. We'll bring you health tips. We'll bring you business fix, where we'll be unpacking the cocoa industry. We'll come with our main discussion for the day, and it is a discussion you don't want to miss out on at all. We'll bring you politics today and also executive interview. It's an executive interview that you get the opportunity to talk about what you do, to sell yourself, that startup you're doing, that service you're providing, everything and anything. You get the opportunity on executive interview. And to be featured on executive interview, you call us on 053-916-1609 053-916-1609. Do you know that cholera has reared its ugly head up again? Have you been informed? Have you heard it anywhere? Well, cholera has reared its head, and we will be speaking to a public health expert so that we can understand the situation and better arm ourselves against cholera. Very, very important thing. So it's very necessary that you are here with us today so that we can look at all of the conversations. But this is ABC in the morning. We are glad you are with us. It's going to be a show that will be interactive, that will be informative, and at the end of the show, you'll be a better person for it. Front story is up next. Stay with us. Thank you for staying with us. This is ABC in the morning. Let's head straight into our front story for today. Cholera outbreak kills 5 in Kas when Ghana Health Service warns of further spread. Cholera. Do we know cholera? Have you ever encountered anybody who had been struck by cholera? This deadly disease has reared its head again, and it has killed 5 in Kaswa, and the Ghana Health Service warns that there could be further spread in cholera. Very, very worrying situation to hear about. So today on Front Story, we are looking and we are turning our attention to the critical issue of cholera. We are turning our attention to it, and there has been a surge in the number of cholera cases, leading to the tragic loss of lives. And the Ghana Health Service has reiterated its call on the general public to practice good hygiene following the rapid spread of cholera infections in parts of the country. According to the health officials from the Ghana Health Service, good sanitary conditions within some communities, within all of our communities, actually will help to curb the issue of cholera. We all know that cholera has got to do with sanitary. We know that cholera has got to do with sanitation, and it is in your best interest that you keep your homes clean. The last time we spoke about mpox. We know that mpox was in certain cases beyond that, because you really do not know how it is contracted. But we looked at polio. And we realized that when it comes to polio, you need to just we looked at it, and we said that when it comes to that, you need to make sure that you practice good personal hygiene. Personal hygiene is one of the most important things you can do for yourselves, and when you practice personal hygiene, you reduce the incidence of contracting certain diseases rapidly. And not long after now, we are hearing about cholera, an outbreak of cholera. Not just the incidence of cholera, but the fact that some have died because of this issue of cholera. Very worrying. And health officials are saying that good sanitary conditions within our communities will help. Are you throwing rubbish into the gutter? How do you keep the rubbish in and around your homes? When we step onto the streets, you see so much litter around. All of these things add to the issue of cholera. The Ghana Health Service released a press statement on this issue of cholera, informing us of the outbreak and all. Let's take a look at the press statement that the Ghana Health Service brought up. Let's take a look at it. So this is the press release by the Ghana Health Service. Alert of confirmed cholera cases in Greater Accra region. The Ghana Health Service confirmed a case of cholera in the Adan West district of the Greater Accra region on 4th October 2024. The person presented to the health facility with vomiting, diarrhea, and abdominal pain a couple of days after attending a funeral in Adan East. Subsequently, Adan East District also reported confirmed cases of cholera. As of 11th October, 9 cholera cases had been confirmed in both the districts, Adan West and Adan East. Following the notification, the public health response activities undertaken include public health emergency management committees at all levels, national, regional, and districts have been activated. A joint multi-sectoral public health emergency rapid response team from the national, regional, and district levels, as well as representatives from the National Commission for Civic Education, the Ghana Education Service, the National Disaster Management Organization, and environmental health units from the 2 affected districts have been activated. An ongoing outbreak investigation and environmental assessment are being conducted. The Ghana Health Service also said that an alert has been sent to all health facilities across the countries. Contact identification, tracing, and follow-up are being done Healthcare workers in the affected areas have been sensitized on case definitions for cholera, sample management, and case management. Daily active community case search is being conducted. Strict infection prevention and control practices in all health facilities have been enforced. A cholera oral rehydration center for cases with mild symptoms has been set up. Public education on cholera prevention with emphasis on safe drinking water, etc. in the affected areas is ongoing. Rumor monitoring, misinformation and disinformation management are being conducted. The Ghana Health Service said this. They also said that access to potable water and environmental sanitation is being assessed. However, potable water is being distributed to affected districts. Water sampling for microbiology and culture from all affected districts is being conducted. The Ministry of Health and the Ghana Health Service, in collaboration with the relevant sectors and partners, wish to assure the general public of its continuous efforts to promptly detect and respond early to public health emergencies. This was signed by Dr. Patrick Kumar Boaje, the Director General. So far, these are the cholera outbreak cases recorded so far. Affected areas and cases recorded are Adan East and Adan West districts, 45 cases and counting. The Ewutu Senya East and Ewutu Senya West districts, 35 and counting. Bone Akatamanso district, 2 cases, and the deaths that have been recorded so far are 7 deaths. The municipal are 45 deaths. The municipal chief executive for Ewutu Senya East, Anita Labobwe Misa, who disclosed that 3 victims died on Thursday, October 31, while others died on Friday, November 1, brought the total number of deaths in Kaswa up to 5 cases. 5 had died in Kaswa because of cholera. You would recall from the press release we just read the number of cases that were recorded when the cholera issue reared its head up in the Adan district. Let's look at some causes, symptoms, and preventive measures you can take against cholera. Cholera is a highly infectious disease caused by Fibro cholerae bacteria. So it's a disease caused by a bacteria, and it is primarily transmitted through the consumption of contaminated food and water. This is why I ask, how good is your personal hygiene? According to the World Health Organization, about 1 to 4 million people around the world get cholera every year. Anywhere from 20,000 people to over 100,000 people die from cholera each year. These are some of the risk factors of cholera. They include poor sanitary condition, reduced or non-existent stomach acid, household exposure. When you don't maintain good sanitary conditions, you are very likely to be affected by cholera. And if one person in your household is affected by cholera, it is also very likely that the other persons in your household will be affected by this issue of cholera. A stark reminder is that Ghana recorded its deadliest cholera outbreak in 2014 with 28,922 cases and 243 deaths. The outbreak affected 130 out of 216 districts across 10 regions in Ghana in 2014, with the most affected areas in southern Ghana, and as such, these new developments have sparked public concerns, raising urgent questions about the state of sanitation in our nation, particularly as the Yuletide season beckons. You would realize that you walk through the streets of Accra, and I'll use Accra as an example because I live in Accra, and I walk through and I can speak to what I see on a normal. You walk through the streets of Accra, especially in the bus, at the bus stops, the stations, and you see how filthy our streets are. The rubbish, the indiscriminate littering and the rubbish all over. Very, very worrying. And next to a pile of rubbish, you'd find someone selling food. It's almost as if next to every pile of rubbish, someone is selling food there. And that is worrying. You walk through areas where people should be living and you see rubbish. The gutters are choked and breeding mosquitoes and every other thing. Mosquitoes, malaria, and then because of the poor hygiene, the terrible nature of the gutters, you know that you don't take care, cholera will rear its head. And now cholera has reared its head. It is a deadly disease that we ought not play with at all, because you contract it, and if you don't take care, you will die. Let's speak with Samuel Arthur. He is a public health analyst. Let's have a conversation with him on cholera and how this situation is alarming. Good morning, Samuel. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning, and it's great to be on your program this morning.
Samuel, the last time we spoke, we were talking about polio. This time, it is cholera. We are here again with a cholera outbreak. Why have we gotten to this point?
Great. Now, so thanks once again, and good morning to your cherished listeners. It is unfortunate. It is unpardonable. It is something we should not entertain, and people have to be responsible. Listen, we're in a country where, let me just divert and come on to this issue. Now, there's this phenomenon of people decorating and posturing dead people in all positions, some cooking noodles, some pounding fufu, some even eating with others in public spaces. I mean, corpses, dressed corpses. And we have public health directors in every municipality or district or assembly, and it is happening until today. Just ask yourself if any of those families have been apprehended, questioned, or so. You see, there are people in power, in positions who are enjoying all kinds of perks, but are not doing the work they are supposed to do. So for the narrative you have made, I think you have done justice already to the subject, and I don't even need to speak. That we have sat down to have cholera now, when just a couple of months ago, even till today, we have COVID levies that we pay, meaning that COVID is something that we have to deal with. Look at the investments we made in COVID, the hand washing machines, the hand washing system, the various things that came with it, all the education, and that's the funds that went into it. So we have forgotten about it so soon. Who is there to ensure that these behaviors are sustained? You know, so we have civil society and other players in the sector who were put away and were not resourced and had to find their own money to do education. We have always been here, but how well have they been involved? So this is where we find ourselves. And all public promotion campaigns are largely financed by our donors. So when they are not around, something like cholera we still have, then there's a problem. Now, where are all the hand washing buckets and bowls that were bought during the COVID era? Now, who was supposed to ensure that these things were maintained? So hygiene, you know, personal hygiene with hand washing particularly, which is one way we could have avoided this deadly outbreak that we are talking about, could have dealt with. So what happened to it? Or as usual, like the vulture, we have gone back to sleep because the rains are away. So this is the price we pay for negligence, irresponsibility, and more of some collective irresponsibility, because all of us are playing into it. Now, you are a newsman and you can news person, and you can conveniently say that people are selling by heaps of garbage. And even where communities have a point where they need to dislodge, they send it there, and for months there's a heap of garbage, and those that are responsible companies will not be there to pick it up. So we are all watching, and for me, cholera probably will be just one symptom of our irresponsible outlook on our very self and our public health. But I guess we need to begin to look at it serious. What do we do? Let's get all public health directors to be on their toes. Listen, it is enough to continue to stay in the office to do all their mathematics and data what. But they should get onto the ground. Let's clean our markets. Let's fumigate or like we did during the COVID era. Or what has changed? What is new? So these are things. If it worked for us in a certain moment, it should work for us now. And if we are not prepared to go by it, then it means it's just that we just don't care. And for me, it will get to a point some of us will stop talking because we are getting tired. It's getting even a lot more stressful now talking about these things because no one is prepared to act. Maybe not you, not me too.
Well, with the spread now in Kaswa and in the Ada areas, should the Ghana Health Service consider declaring this an epidemic in the areas, considering the contagious nature of cholera?
One case is enough for us to declare a state of emergency, a public emergency. I'm surprised. For in the case of polio, it was declared in a matter of less than 24 hours. So what is stopping the WHO or the WHO, I mean Country Office Ghana or the Ministry of Health in declaring a state of emergency so we can begin to look at marshalling all efforts to areas where we've seen the outbreak spread, and then also quickly look at how we can hold any further spread in places where they are yet to have any infection. So it's something we need to look at and look at total. But let district health director, public health directors, community health, all of us, let's begin to look around. Let's flash the points. I know there's a sanitation app I may want to check, but there are a lot of things that are within the district that we need the district to communicate to community people. So people even can report where garbages are heaping, where stuff is going. But nobody cares because once you even report, nobody takes an action, and we cannot continue like that.
So
for me,
okay, please go on.
Let's quickly move to let's activate the hand washing. And let's ensure that people are actually practicing personal hygiene. We would be happy if the promotion outfit from the Ghana Health Service will quickly get to work by activating their various messages in the local languages to let people know that even there's the outbreak, what is causing the outbreak, how they can prevent further spread, and what we can all do to avert any further catastrophe. So that is one thing we need to look at. Now, personally, as individuals, we have a responsibility over our health and our lives, and we need to take our lives into our hands. So, hand washing with soap and running water, and let's do it such that we can do it as frequent as we did during the COVID era, so we can maintain some kind of personal hygiene among each other and not spread this now. Let's begin as a country also to look at our sanitation. I mean, the various places of convenience, I mean toilets, household toilets, community toilets, public toilets, and all that. Now, for public toilets, you and me can tell, and I'm sure you will not want to enter any of them. Even for those that we think have been well kept, Charlie, when you get there, it is something that is just not nice. So there's a culture we need to deal with. How do we maintain our toilets, even within the community and household, such that we can avoid these outbreaks? Because, of course, cholera basically means people are eating feces, Yeah. I don't want to say it in feet. Hello?
Yes, Samuel.
Yes. Yeah.
When we look at the sanitation in the nation, we know that it is worrying. In the past month, you've seen various groups, a group of young men, a group of young people come together and try and clean gutters and all. We understand that you cannot, small groups, clean yourselves out of a sanitation issue. The president mentioned some years ago that he would make Accra the cleanest city. We do not see that expression at the moment. Our roads, our streets, our gutters, so riddled with filth and dirt. What are the main gaps in our sanitation infrastructure that these gaps are excavating the health risk in communities?
Yes, I guess the first I want to point to is political will. the lack of it. There's actually no political will. Because let me cite the Clean Your Frontage campaign that the Honorable Greater Accra Minister, Honorable Henry Korte launched. Now, and you know how even community people and people in the markets resisted this. So you begin to ask yourself if people really want clean communities and if people are okay. It looks like people are just okay with the field. I don't know, but let's just ask ourselves, what has been the system we have had as a people in one, disposing our waste, managing the waste, either recycling or getting them to dump sites where probably they stay forever. So those policies are in people's test and within the communities. How well are we engaging community people to look at how they can dispose of their waste, particularly liquid waste, solid waste, and even fecal matter? So a lot of behaviors are happening. More of it, you see, is linked to the loose leadership we have at the district level, which is supposed to have the authority in that area, to make sure that people have clean toilets, to ensure that households have enough toilets for a certain population of the number of people. The recent census we had was pointing to a very far less ratio, where you have certain homes where over 30 people shall have to rely on one toilet. And for me, in that situation, it is obvious that the cleaning the place and maintaining hygiene will be difficult, and for that matter, people could be prone to infections from other people's behavior. So it's a system we need to deal with. It will not take one day, it will not take 2 days. But the president's talk, I guess, is for him to begin to assess himself. If within his tenure we have had several cholera outbreaks, including other hygiene and sanitation related diseases break out, it is for us to find out if the city actually is cleaner than if he met it or now. Let's forget about the political talk and take this into our hands. Now, individually and within our homes, how are we collecting and disposing of our waste? Are we still dumping material that can rot and other things together in one bowl and disposing it? Are we separating our waste? This is something we need to begin to look at. Which part of our waste can we recycle? Do we have capacity to recycle? And how easy is it for the person that has to dispose of his or her waste to the recycle point? So there's an incentive for people to send their waste so it can be recycled. So there's a lot we need to look at. It all dwells on the district authority, and I think for me in Accra, the AMA, together with all the the municipalities that we have now and the district assembly, they need to rise up to the occasion. The various health promotion outfits, I guess, we need to be out there. The public announcement, the PA vans, we need to get them. Let's let people know that it is, because cholera, for me, we just need one case, and that is enough to get every other person infected if we don't prevent it.
Samuel, finally, before you go, when you look at our health infrastructure, what are the most immediate infrastructure improvements you would recommend to tackle the further spread of cholera in the country?
All right, so for the district health management teams, they know they have various response teams. The good thing is the Ministry of the Ghana Health Service, which is the implementing agency of the Ministry of Health, has a very good monitoring and surveillance system. So, of course, even before the numbers get to become very huge, they have been able to pick it up, and we know from the first case to where we are now. So we know of the steps also they have put in place within the regions, in the various outpatient departments, and even within the communities, the chiefs, where people who have certain signs quickly need to report to the facility so they can get the help that they need to avert further spread. So already there's an activated system from the Ghana Health Service together with the Ministry of Health, and that for me is good. We need to recommend, but we need to engage the community so the response will not just be from the top, but even at the base, all of us can come together and put our efforts together so we can deal with it, one at the community level, so it does not even escalate and have district and even national attention.
Thank you for your time this morning, Samuel.
Very grateful also for this opportunity.
Samuel Afa is a public health analyst. We've had this conversation on cholera outbreak, a very worrying very worrying information coming in. Cholera has reared its head up again in Ghana, and we understand how deadly this disease can be. Let's start from our own small homes, in our very own small ways. Practice good personal hygiene, practice good sanitation. Start from your home, and then it can also extend whilst we look at the district and the national levels also doing their bit. It is imperative and it behooves on us to do it in our own small way. Cholera is deadly, and you don't want to come into contact with cholera. Let's take good care of ourselves. Let's make sure that we are warding off things that we can ward off. Personal hygiene is something within our scope, it's within our reach, it's within our hands, and if we decide to do it and do it well, we would also be protecting ourselves from certain things that would harm us. That's all for Front Story this morning on ABC in the Morning. Stay with us, we'll be back soon.
We are currently here at Kanisu.
When the news breaks, we are there. In the heart of matters arising, we follow through with the right question. Don't miss a beat with our in-depth news analysis. From breaking news, special feature stories, latest news, we bring you the stories that matter. Our team of immersed reporters bring you the news as it happens. Join us every 6 a.m., 12 p.m. and 6 p.m. each day for a comprehensive look at the stories beyond the headlines.
Thank you for staying with us. Before we head into sports and tech trick for today, you're reminded that to be featured on our executive interview, you should get in touch with us on 053-916-1609. It is on executive interview that you get to talk about what you do, to sell yourself to Ghanaians out there, that startup you're in, that service you're providing, that business you have started. Just get in touch with us on 053-916-1609. Also, we are entering into the elections very soon, very soon, sooner rather than later. We will be going to the polls where every Ghanaian would have the opportunity to vote to determine who becomes their next NP and ultimately who becomes the next president of the Republic of Ghana. Because of this, we are bringing you the Poll Center. The Poll Center on ABC News GH will bring you all of the credible information you need about elections, from past elections and also the elections coming up. We'll be doing all of the analysis that you will enjoy, all of the analysis that you need, and all the analysis that will also help you make better informed decisions as you get into the elections. So stay tuned for the Poll Center. On the Poll Center, we say votes, not violence. We are preaching the message of votes and not violence. The elections, in any case, is all about your votes. You go to your polling station, you thumbprint, and then you come back home. You don't need to be involved in any scuffles. You don't need to be involved in anything that will bring about any violence or escalate any brewing tensions before, during, and after the elections. It behooves on you as a person to make sure that you are part of a peaceful elections. You start in your own small way, whilst all of us put our shoulders to the wheel to make sure that we have a peaceful election. So you want to be glued to ABC News GH. Will bring you the Poll Center. You don't want to miss out on it at all. Today we'll bring you Ghana Speaks, where your voice matters. Stay tuned so that when it's time for Ghana Speaks, we will hear from you too. But up next, is the latest in sports and also tech trick. Derek Kumiki Siedu and Eric Melo Cheneboa are on hand to bring us the latest in sports and tech trick. Stay tuned.
We are currently here at Tanishi.
When the news breaks, we are there. In the heart of matters arising, we follow through with the right question. Don't miss a beat with our in-depth news analysis. From breaking news, special feature stories, latest news, we bring you the stories that matter. Our team of immersed reporters bring you the news as it happens. Join us every 6 a.m., 12 p.m. and 6 p.m. each day for a comprehensive look at the stories beyond the headlines.
3, 2, 1.
You're watching ABC News GH.
ABC News GH, your trusted source for news.
Midday budget review.
You can advertise your brand or business on ABC News GH television. Call us on 030-278-8645 or 050-993-0360 to secure your slot.
Good morning and welcome to the sports segment here on ABC in the morning. I am Derek Kumiki Siedu. Now let's dive into the world of sports as the Ghana Athletics Open Championship for Security Service took place at the University of Ghana Stadium on Saturday, 2nd November and Sunday, 3rd November 2024. Security Service such as the Ghana Armed Forces, Ghana Immigration Service, Ghana Prison Service, GRA Customs Division and the Ghana National Fire Service participated in two-day events. The men competed in 15 events while whilst the women took part in 12 events. The Ghana Armed Forces, who are preparing for the African Armed Forces Athletics Championship in Abuja from 18th November, dominated the competition while scoring 327 points in the men's event, whilst the women scored 198 points. They were followed by the Ghana Immigration Service, who pulled 76 points, 19 points more than the Prison Service. GRA Customs Division and the Ghana National Fire Service scored 32 and 34 points respectively. In the women's events, the armed forces amassed 198 points, with the Immigration Service 63 points behind. They had 26 points more than the Ghana Police Prison Service, whilst the Ghana Fire Service had 31 points, 3 points more than the GRA Customs Division. And now Asante Kotoko SC suffered their first defeat at home in the Premier League after losing 1-0 against Heart of Lions on Sunday, November 3, 2024. Kwejo Obin Jr.'s strike in the 28 minutes separated the two teams at the Lincoln Stadium in Obuasi. Kotoko had the Lions share of the possession, but it mattered little when the final whistle blew. The Porcupine Warriors had slipped to third in the table after being overtaken in second position by the Nations FC. Gold Stars FC dropped points at home after drawing 0-0 against Dreams FC at the Dance Park in Bibiani on Sunday. The two teams failed to score as they shared the spoil in the entertaining draw. Gold Stars have opened 3 points lead with 19 points, whilst Dreams FC remains in the bottom 3. Basakoli Stars recorded an impressive 2-2 draw at Brekum Chelsea on Sunday. The Premier League new boys managed to pick a point on the road against a formidable Chelsea side at the Golden City Park. Emmanuel Sapon puts the host in the lead in the 45th minute before Stephen Ewuaba pulled parity for the visitors. Dauda Ben made it 2-1 for Holy Stars before Stephen Amankoma grabbed the equalizer on the stroke of full time. Instructorman FC had to dig deep to draw 2-2 against Bechem United at home on Sunday. Mohamed Abdul Rahman put the host in front with a superb finish as early as the 9th minute before Emmanuel Aban got the equalizer in the 51st minute. Emmanuel Ankra scored an own goal to give United the lead before calling Kofi Kujo put Instructorman back in the 78th minute. Vision FC dropped a point at home against again after drawing 0-0 against Indiana FC on Sunday. The two teams settled for a point each after the pool-sitting draw at the Ni J Kreku, the second sports complex. Nations FC continued their fine form with a vital 1-0 win at Karela United FC to go second in the Premier League table. Red Hot Faisal Chawete's 75th minute strike separated the two teams at the Tamale Sports Stadium. Nations have jumped to second in the table with 16 points, 3 behind leaders Gold Stars FC. Now, Manchester United and Chelsea battled hard but failed to find a winner as their Premier League fixture ended 1-1 at Old Trafford on Sunday. It was a goalless first half with Cole Palmer and Marcus Rashford getting close for both sides. Then the second half began with Pedro Neto trying to give Chelsea the lead, but his shot went past the far post. Rasmus was fouled in the box in the 70th minute. Then captain Bruno Fernandes converted his penalty with ease to make it 1-0. But then Chelsea had an immediate response as Moises scored a screamer from an edge of the box on the 75th minute to make it 1-1. United legend is currently serving as interim manager after United sacked Erik ten Hag earlier last week. He began his interim tenure with a 5-2 win versus Leicester City in the League Cup on Wednesday. Well, that's how we wrap up the sports segment here on ABC in the morning. For more sports updates, please follow our website at www.abcnewsgh.com. I am Derek Kumi Kisiedu. Have a good morning.
Over the past 8 years, the NPP has significantly improved support for our most vulnerable citizens. From expanding school meal programs, enrolling 300,000 more people in the LEAP initiative, enhancing healthcare for expectant mothers, we've strengthened the fabric of our society. But our work isn't done. We are committed to further enhancing these programs and introducing new initiatives to ensure that every Ghanaian has the opportunity to thrive. Vote for progress. Vote for care. Vote for Baumia. Baumia means business. Over the past 8 years, the NPP has significantly improved support for our most vulnerable citizens. From expanding school meal programs, enrolling 300,000 more people in the LEAP initiative, enhancing healthcare for expectant mothers, we've strengthened the fabric of our society. But our work isn't done. We are committed to further enhancing these programs and introducing new initiatives to ensure that every Ghanaian has the opportunity to thrive. Vote for progress. Vote for care. Vote for Baumia. Baumia means business.
Hello there, good morning and welcome to the Tech Trick segment here on ABC in the morning. I am Eric Trinibwa Mello. Today on our Tech Trick segment, we're talking about the 5G rollout in Ghana. Friday was the mega launch for this 5G network, and as you know, all eyes is on this particular thing. So Ghana has officially launched high-speed 5G internet service, starting with coverage with Accra, Kumasi and Takoradi, as the government also aims to expand connectivity across the nation. The Minister of Communications, Honorable Esla Owusu, emphasized that the initial rollout is a start of the phase plan to cover additional urban areas by the end of 2024 and eventually reach rural areas by 2026. So Ghana's 5G infrastructure is being developed through a consortium led by NextGen Infraco, a shared infrastructure company promoted by the government in partnership with some private firms, including Ascent Digital, KNet, then also Radisys, Nokia, Tech Mahindra, AT Ghana, and Telecel. So for those of you on these networks, you will be experiencing this anytime. But what exactly is 5G, as everybody seems to be talking about or ranting about? So the 5G network is a 5th generation mobile broadband service that promises faster data speed. It also lower the lateness and greater connectivity that its predecessors also have. So this means that Ghanaians can also expect seamless video streaming, faster files downloads, and improved online gaming experience. So for those of you who really want your gaming downloads and your movies, this 5G is basically for you. So officially the rollout is in. Now let's look at the rollout plan, how this is expected to roll out here in Ghana. So the 5G network will be rolled out across Ghana within the next 6 months, with plans for future expansion into the parts of Africa. Now this means that this will ensure that all Ghanaians, regardless of your location, can also access high-speed internet. Isn't that good news? Well, it is. I'm sure you actually also are happy about this. But how affordable would this be? Is it expensive to connect to the 5G network? Well, the 5G network is expected to be affordable for all Ghanaians. Now, thanks to collaborative efforts between the government and private investors. Now, this will also bridge the digital divide and also make the digital service more accessible. So, relatively, let's just say that it is quite not so much of expense to the ordinary Ghanaian who also wish to afford. There are some, interesting benefits about it, but the 5G network will also drive Ghana's digital transformation agenda, then also support economic growth. It will also improve healthcare and enhance education. So if you want to learn on your internet, it's as easy and as fast as you can imagine. Now, it will also enable innovative service like mobile money, e-commerce, and online education. I think this is a very good initiative from the powers that be. This initiative actually is very commendable, even though most of you do complain of poor quality of internet connectivity here and there. Maybe when you try to hop onto this internet 5G, let's see how the story would be. So device compatibility. Now, to access the 5G network, Ghanaians will need to compatible devices. Now, the government also plans to replicate India's successful model of affordable handsets, that's the digital platforms, and also localized content. This will ensure that all Ghanaians can access the benefit of 5G regardless of your income. So 5G actually is here to stay, okay? Friday, we saw how the pop and pageantry went. After that, a lot of you also have taxed your telcos to also be quick with it. Well, the government says it will be rolling out anytime soon. So you should be experiencing that on your network, or sorry, on your mobile phones anytime soon. So to conclude, let me just borrow the words of the Communications Minister, Honorable Esther Owusu-Ekufum, who at the launch of this 5G rollout, let me just quote her exactly. So she said, this will create an even playing field and encourage them to compete fairly, not on network rollout, but on service offering. If you live in any initial 5G catchment area and still can't access 5G by December, it means that you have to call out your network operator because they have to make it available to you. These are the words of the Communications Minister, Honorable Esther Owusu. So just as she said, by December, if your network provider is not making you enjoy this 5G rollout, it means that you really have to call the network provider out, because they are actually making your life quite a living hell. All right. Anyways, that's all for Tech Trick today. I am Eric Chinibwa-Melo. ABC in the Morning continues after this. Do stay with us.
2017, the NPP inherited a fragmented digital infrastructure that limited public service efficiency. Since then, we've revolutionized how services are delivered with the Ghana card and mobile money interoperability, enhancing speed and accessibility. Our efforts have greatly improved government interactions, making life easier for every Ghanaian. However, our vision doesn't stop here. We aim to further expand and modernize Ghana's digital landscape. The journey towards a fully integrated digital society continues. Stand with us. Vote for innovation. Vote for Baumia. Baumia means business. In 2017, the NPP inherited a fragmented digital infrastructure that limited public service efficiency. Since then, we've revolutionized how services are delivered with the Ghana card and mobile money interoperability, enhancing speed and accessibility. Our efforts have greatly improved government interactions, making life easier for every Ghanaian. However, our vision doesn't stop here. We aim to further expand and modernize Ghana's digital landscape. The journey towards a fully integrated digital society continues. Stand with us. Vote for innovation. Vote for Baumia. Baumia means business. Over the past 8 years, the NPP has significantly improved support for our most vulnerable citizens. From expanding school meal programs, enrolling 300,000 more people in the LEAP initiative, enhancing healthcare for expectant mothers, we've strengthened the fabric of our society. But our work isn't done. We are committed to further enhancing these programs and introducing new initiatives to ensure that every Ghanaian has the opportunity to thrive. Vote for progress. Vote for care. Vote for Baumia. Baumia means business. In 2017, the NPP inherited an infrastructure network in need of renewal. We've since focused on building modern, resilient infrastructure, expanding roads, railways, and housing through strong partnerships with the private sector. As we enter the next chapter, a revitalized public works department will lead maintenance, with local governments enhancing district roads. We are committed to expanding railways and upgrading airports to connect Ghana for a stronger future. While much has been achieved, there's still more to do. Vote for Baumia. Baumia means business. In 2017, the NPP inherited an infrastructure network in need of renewal. We've since focused on building modern, resilient infrastructure, expanding roads, railways, and housing through strong partnerships with the private sector. As we enter the next chapter, a revitalized public works department will lead maintenance, with local governments enhancing district roads. We are committed to expanding railways and upgrading airports to connect Ghana for a stronger future. While much has been achieved, there's still more to do. Vote for Baumia. Baumia means business. In 2017, the NPP inherited an infrastructure network in need of renewal.
You're still watching ABC in the morning. We're heading straight into Ghana Speaks, where your voice matters. On Ghana Speaks, it is your voice that we want to hear. What is happening in your constituency? What is happening in your life? And how is Ghana impacting on you? We are going into the elections. How will you be voting? But before we get into Ghana Speaks, let's see what is trending on the various news portals. On ABC News GH, there are 36 new SHS subjects to be studied by 2024 BC graduates. So there are some 36 new subjects that 36 new SHS subjects that will be studied by those who graduated BC this year. And Baumia says studying robotics and coding now mandatory in senior high schools. Baumia again says we've created 2.6 million jobs, more than any previous government. And Dr. John Krugu says arrest illegal chief to restore peace in Boko. Ghana Water has launched a debt recovery initiative. On myjoyonline.com, Martina Midu warns the Ghana Bar Association against dangerous blind loyalty to the Chief Justice. And Mahama says militarization of our election must end. Militarization of our election must end. And Baumia outlines plans for job creation for youth. Ashanti Regional Health Directorate intensifies public education on cholera. And on City Newsroom, I'll bring exchange rates below 5 cedis when elected. Alan Tremantin assures Ghanaians. I'll govern with my own vision and priorities. Baumia says so. Avoid election prophecies. Nana Akufo-Addo, President Akufo-Addo tells the clergy. Allegations of printing excess ballot papers untrue, the Electoral Commission says. So these are some of the conversations on the various news portals. For more news, visit our website www.abcnewsgh.com. Ghana Speaks is up next.
Times are hard in Ghana, extremely hard.
As we gear towards the 2024 general elections, there have been conversations around having a presidential debate. Will it happen or not? This is Ghana Speaks.
On Ghana Speaks, your voice matters. We want to hear your voice. Call us on 053-916-1609. And the question we are asking you this morning on Ghana Speaks is, have you experienced any level of poverty in the last 12 months? Have you experienced any level of poverty in the last 12 months? What is your standard of living at the moment? Are you able to meet up with the cost of living? Are you able to match up? Are you able to afford the things that will make life a simple one for you? Have you experienced any level of poverty in the last 12 months? According to an Afrobarometer report, it says that 82% of Ghanaians have experienced some level of poverty. Is that your case? Is that your reality? Let's hear you on Ghana Speaks. 053-916-1609. 053-916-1609. Have your say. Let us know what you are going through, what you're experiencing. Is it true for you? Is it abstract for you? Is it true that some Ghanaians are experiencing poverty? Are you part of those who have experienced some level of poverty? For you, are you comfortable? Are you able to afford all the things that you want to afford? Your basic needs, are you able to afford them? Is your salary able to match up with your expenses? Let's hear from you. We have a caller. Hello, good morning. Your name and where you're calling from?
Morning.
When you call, kindly reduce the volume of your TV set or even turn it off so that we can hear you properly. Good morning. Your name and where you're calling from? Hello? Well, we are asking, have you experienced any level of poverty in the last 12 months? Call us on 053-916-1609. When you call us, kindly reduce the volume of your TV sets or turn it off altogether so that we can hear you. When you leave your volume up, you tend to want to hear yourself, so you delay in speaking with us. Hello, your name and where you're calling from?
Calling from what? My name is Sahil.
Hello. Have you experienced any form of poverty in the last 12 months?
Yes.
How so? Hello? Okay, we have lost our caller, but you can still call us 053-916-1609. Have you experienced any form of poverty in the last 12 months? How is the cost of living? Are you able to buy? How are you able to fend for your family? The money you receive, is it enough to take care of your family? You let us know. Have you experienced any form of poverty? An Afrobarometer report says that 82% of Ghanaians experience some level of poverty. That is what the report says. Is the report true for you or it is abstract? Let us know how you are faring, where You are 053-916-1609. 053-916-1609. Hello, good morning. Your name and where you are calling from?
I'm sorry calling back. The line was cut.
Well, now we've established contact with you. The question is, have you experienced any level of poverty in the last 12 months? Oh, we have lost her again. We really would like to speak with you. For you to have called a second time means that you're really interested in our conversation. We are grateful for that. We would love to speak with you on our topic. We're asking you if you have experienced any level of poverty in the last 12 months. How are you and your family able to take care of yourselves? Are you able to afford a 3-square meal? Are you able to feed your family as you would love? Hello, good morning. Your name and where you're calling from?
Can I speak my own language?
What language is it, sir?
Midday. Akan language.
Akan. So you want to speak Chi?
Yeah, I want to speak Chi.
Okay, please go ahead. But your friend was saying, we didn't just say, I have an outcast free.
Yeah, sorry, Martin. Okay. Midday, say, I want to tell you what he said. Your papa and show, and I say, okay, what you mean, show, be not just say, what you mean, you man, show. I will tell you. So many my head in Kura, I had dinner, it would be a soldier would go on pay on fanning sign, my day. I bind it in the Juman first time show because I want to think right. Also, Eastern region. It is a Commodore, obey them. It was all year Juman out of wow. No, a bind for the mind ticker. A young crime out at the bay, all year food. That's all not by a bar. Who be never be a deal not by an offer, a dear conquer and over cotton. That's all crying yet. That's all year food, that's a bar. Obey then I don't know by enough. You can't never better. But the coin here, we have a taffo. If you are buying the yen for Moody, if you are saying to Mamu for me, you for Moody.
Martin, question I me beside say, Usika ya unya, na watch and I say Busumi Biano, a soon di, me the show of Busia, out to me the show.
Say, anybody what to wa. Say, first we did 20 Ghana a day. Nothing, and your ma boy there. Also, how 20 Ghana, who be used to Sadan. Going to think I say, Menya 20 Ghana, my dean in the first, and I'm in Kwana, I'm 20 Ghana and Somia. I don't say, Menya a baba quaka, so now I'm quoting me 20 Ghana and a dean, because you say Menya a baba quaka, when you're mammy, you know, or tell me use me 20 Ghana and Minkwana, or tell me Tesso, because I'm very ready for you to do. To me, you know, 10 to be come, and not just by force, I mean 20 Ghana, not me to tell me home pest, 10 to do to a mom, David. We are with the economy as here. I was a mine dinner. How are beautiful you to Sika? Oh, Queen is only 100 cities. Who can be fast or be you soon? Not 200 cities. Who can be fast or be you because and yet the piano obey a Juma, a bemo Sika. A was returned as a best, when you so.
Martin, yeah, that's a very. This Martin from the Eastern region. Martin says that for him, whatever money you receive, you have to make sure that you are able to spend it in a way that suits your living, that suits the life that you have at the moment. The government shouldn't be the one to come and work into your pocket. So you have to work so that the government can also use money for the roads. And that's what Martin has to say on the topic. Hello, good morning. Your name and where you're calling from?
Yeah, good morning. My name is Mark. I'm calling for.
Your name is?
My name is Mark.
Mark, where are you calling from, sir?
I'm calling from Abosokai.
Abosokai. Mark, have you experienced any level of poverty in the last 12 months?
Yeah, I mean, it's good that you are asking that question. In fact, this has been very difficult for many of us. Even when you pay the money, you can't even use the money to do anything. At the time you buy something, then the money is off. So all the time, and go out and borrow, ask friends for money and that kind of thing. And Normally, when you go out and ask money from someone, you stand there. But right now, when you go where you know, where you believe, when you get there, you get that money. When you go, the person turn up. It's also suffering.
So, Mark, how are you able to survive from day to day?
Yeah, my survival is when you have someone outside and you know him. At least you beg for things are very difficult to get. You can do something small and that kind of thing. The school fees like
Mark, we are unable to hear you. Your line is has some. We are experiencing some challenges in your line.
Yeah, you hear it now.
Okay, it is better.
Yeah, even your children's school fees, you cannot pay all the time. You are crying for, because meanwhile you go the opening of school, you go and give out something, and you beg them at the end of the month and give them another, or you come and pay the rest. But at the end of the month, you have to go there again. So if you don't take care and you pay the school fees, then you're going to with anger. So you beg them and give them little, another time you beg them a little, because the money you receive is really bad. You understand?
Thank you for speaking with us this morning, Mark.
Yeah, okay.
So Mark from Abosoka, he says that he has experienced some level of poverty in the last 12 months. You can call us on 053-916-1609. 053-916-1609. Have you experienced any level of poverty in the last 12 months? How are you able to live with the money you receive? Is it enough for you? Is it enough for you and your family? Are you able to pay fees? Are you able to buy food for your family? Are you able to clothe your family as adequately as you would have loved to do? Have you experienced any level of poverty in the last 12 months? Hello, your name and where you're calling from?
Yes, I'm Alex calling from Kintampo.
Hello, Alex. Have you experienced any level of poverty in the last 12 months?
Yes, it's even more than the last 4 months. It's almost about 7 months.
Okay, and how are you able to survive?
It's difficult for me because as I'm speaking with you, I'm not able to even pay my work school fees. I'm a government worker. Yes, sir, they are not even been paying me. For about 4 months now, I haven't received salary.
Alex, where do you work? And
I work at GS.
You work with GES in Kintampo?
Yes, please. Yes, please.
And you have not been paid in the past 4 months?
Yes, please.
And what are the reasons for this?
The reason was that my validator refused to validate me since January, that he refused to validate me. So I went to the controller and they did it for me. So I had received my salary around July. After July, August, September, I didn't receive it again. As I'm speaking with you, I haven't received my salary.
Alex, are you a teacher?
Yes, please.
So you still go to the classroom to teach?
Sometimes I do. Sometimes I feel like if I don't have money to go, I won't go.
What do you teach, the basic school or the SHS?
No, senior high school.
Senior high school in Kintampo.
And yeah, I spent 20 cedis for lorry fare every day.
Okay. Alex, if you don't mind, how much are you paid every month? How much are you supposed to be paid every month?
Like the government should pay me or I should pay.
No, how much is the government supposed to pay you every month as a teacher?
As a teacher, I always receive almost 3,000 cedis.
And for the past 4 months, you've not received any salary, you say?
Yes, please.
Okay. And because of that, you are finding it difficult to take care of your family?
Very difficult.
Well, we are sorry about that. The Afrobarometer report said that 82% of Ghanaians are experiencing some level of poverty, and from your conversation, we will understand that you are experiencing that. Well, so that is Alex from Kintampo, very worrying. He says that he has not received any pay in the past months but he works for government. He says he works for government. He is a teacher in a second cycle institution. We can follow up on this conversation to see how this is. Hello, your name and where you're calling from.
Hello.
Hello. What's your name and where you're calling from?
My name is Obrimpong.
Pardon?
My name is Obrimpong.
Can you please speak up? I'm unable to hear you, sir.
Hi, my name is Obrimpong.
Obrimpong, okay. Obrimpong, where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Ebri in the eastern region.
Okay. Obrimpong, have you experienced any level of poverty in the last 12 months?
Wow. This question, I don't know how to answer because every single day is a struggle. Every single day. There's no point where I think an average individual in Ghana can hit his or her chest and say, today is a very peaceful day for me, that I have enough funds to do whatever I want to do. There's a lot of struggle in the country, honestly. And then I think for the past 12 months, every single day is a struggle. There's no day that, maybe the only day you can say you're happy is when you receive your payday. Even that one is just for a single day. The next day you are broke again. So, I mean.
Since the next day you are broke again, Obrimpong, how are you able to strategize your finances to be able to at least stretch for the month?
Well, you know, the struggle comes with ways in which you, the individual, you must personally strategize in order to. Me personally, like this, I have to strain myself. I have to be strict on my expenses to ensure that I'm able to properly manage my finances throughout the month. Because when the hard times come, there's no place to find money. So you have to strategize in order to be able to go through the month.
Okay. Thank you for speaking with us, Obrimpong. Obrimpong from Ebri. Obrimpong says that every day is a struggle. So that's all for Ghana Speaks this morning. Anytime we open the phone lines, we'll be looking forward to speaking with you. Away from Ghana Speaks, Business Fix is up next.
Million children have benefited from free SHS. Protect free SHS. Vote Dr. Baumia #1 on the ballot.
In 2017, the NPP inherited a fragmented digital infrastructure that limited public service efficiency. Since then, we've revolutionized how services are delivered with the Ghana card and mobile money interoperability, enhancing speed and accessibility. Our efforts have greatly improved government interactions, making life easier for every Ghanaian. However, our vision doesn't stop here. We aim to further expand and modernize Ghana's digital landscape. The journey towards a fully integrated digital society continues. Stand with us. Vote for innovation. Vote for Baumia. Baumia means business. In 2017, the NPP inherited a fragmented digital infrastructure that limited public service efficiency. Since then, we've revolutionized how services are delivered with the Ghana card and mobile money interoperability, enhancing speed and accessibility. Our efforts have greatly improved government interactions, making life easier for every Ghanaian. However, our vision doesn't stop here. We aim to further expand and modernize Ghana's digital landscape. The journey towards a fully integrated digital society continues.
Thank you for staying with us. Let's head straight into Business Fix, where we are looking at the cocoa sector. We are assessing the cocoa sector. We are looking at the challenges in the cocoa sector amidst farmers petitioning Cocoa Board. Cocoa farmers have filed a complaint with Cocoa Board, and in this complaint, they listed key environmental and social issues, including a demand for living income for farmers. The complaint raised concerns over continuing deforestation, child labor, and the use of pesticides. And the farmers' complaint cited studies finding that only a fraction of Ghana's farmers earn a living income from their cocoa. And according to the complaint, Cocoa Board must require companies to pay farmers a higher price, a living income, adding that higher prices were also an essential first step toward eliminating child labor. This complaint will test a grievance mechanism that Cocoa Board put together, a grievance mechanism by Cocoa Board as a prerequisite for some $600 million syndicated loan arranged by the African Development Fund. Also, per the complaint, the AFDB sought to address precisely the type of environmental and social issues identified in this petition when it mandated the creation of the grievance mechanism. The cocoa sector has been faced with many hurdles. You would recall that the CEO of Cocoa Board, Dr. Joseph Boahenedu, said in a recent press briefing that the country has lost an alarming 120,000 metric tons of cocoa to smuggling. And this is a phenomenon that has adversely affected the country's production. He attributed this phenomenon to the inversion of the international markets trading system. He talked about spot price being better than the forward price, and within a space of 1 year from April 2023, the price of cocoa on the world market had appreciated from $2,000 to above $12,000 per ton by February 2024. All of this came after Cocoa Board raised Ghana's farmer price by nearly 45% to 48,000 cedis per metric ton for the 2024-2025 season. Beyond that, we had a conversation with Isifu Isaka, who is the president of the Cocoa Farmers Cooperative Union of Ghana. In our conversation, he raised concerns over the government's pricing policies and said that inadequate pricing was the fueling factor for cocoa smuggling across the country, and emphasized the necessity for competitive pricing comparable to neighboring countries. In that conversation, he criticized the disparity between promised and actual payments, lamenting that disillusioned farmers have resorted to selling to smugglers who offer them better deals. These sentiments reflect widespread frustration among cocoa farmers who accuse the government of failing to fulfill its pledge to pay 70% of the gross FOB price instead of the less than 50% they receive. In that conversation again, Mr. Isifu Isaka highlighted that neighboring Cote d'Ivoire's adaptation to higher global prices was a better way for Cote d'Ivoire than Ghana was experiencing. Let's speak again today with Isifu Isaka. He is the president of the Cocoa Farmers Cooperative Union of Ghana. Good morning, Isifu. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Good morning, ABC News. Thank you for the opportunity once again.
Congratulations. The last time we spoke with you, you were the president for the Sishibekwai Cocoa Cooperative Union. Today, you are the president of the National Cocoa Farmers Cooperative Union. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. I also appreciate the effort of ABC News in this regard. Over 99 cocoa farmers cooperative unions across the cocoa regions of Ghana came together to form a national association that will represent the cooperative union at the national level and international level. And due to your effort, I was able to gather 152 out of 190 votes, representing 77%.
Congratulations.
And I think I do appreciate your effort also.
Congratulations. Isifu, we are looking at the conversation on the cocoa sector. Recently, just before the weekend last week, there was a petition by cocoa farmers addressing key issues that the sector has been riddled with. Will this cocoa sector be able to overcome all of these issues surrounding it?
Thank you very much. The issues around the cocoa sector, we have factor that is influenced by global phenomenon, and we have internal factors that is also affected by policies, regulations, and other systems. And to look at the policy level, in Ghana, it's only cocoa board that is mandated to ensure efficiency in the cocoa sector, such that the marketing of cocoa beans and also making sure that farmer welfare and other things are gathered. And in that regard, we could see that for some time now, though the price of cocoa have been increasing, but it doesn't have a clear impact on the living condition of cocoa farmers. And some months ago, Cocoa wrote to some of the cocoa farmers unions, LBCs, directing them that there are premiums that these unions receive from their buyers, that is the off-takers in the international, the chocolate making companies. They have a system that they ensure that at the end of the day they get a sustainable beans. And through that sustainability practice, you have to go through some standards and compliance. And at the end of the day, you are rewarded with premiums. And these premiums goes to the farmers as incentives. And the farmers use some of these premiums to purchase input, high labor for their farming activities and the rest. And some month now, Cocoa Board is directing that the premium that the farmers receive, some percentage have to be taken by the board, and they are forming foundation to ensure that when this money comes, the money is used for the right purposes. But it is clear by law. If you read the Cocoa Board Act 1984, PNDC Law 81, it is clear that it's direct Cocoa Board to facilitate a good arrangement for farmers to go into certification. So the farmers don't understand why the monies that comes to them direct. Now Cocoa Board is directing them to give some percentage to the board for other activities. So the farmers petition Cocoa Board that no, we are not happy with this information. And Cocoa Board said, if that is the case, come and let us meet. So today, probably by 9 o'clock, 1 hour before, we are going to meet. As we speak, I'm on my way to the cocoa house. Some other farmers from other regions are already there, and we are going to sit and speak to the matter and other development issues that is affecting the cocoa sector entirely, as Ghana is continuously experiencing a low decline, a high decline of cocoa production. And this year we anticipated to have produced more than last year. But if you visit the cocoa farms and you see things yourself, it is giving us another headache that maybe this year too we may produce less, not even up to last year production.
Do cocoa farmers receive at the moment? The premiums you're talking about, how much do they receive?
Yes, the premiums, there are standards and there are levels of them. So there are other certification bodies. So they have fair trade premiums, they have Rainforest Alliance premium, and other mass balance system. So it depends on the standards that you go by. If you are under fair trade premium, definitely you'll be receiving $240 per metric ton. And then if you are a Rainforest Alliance certifier, you receive 200 plus not specific, but 200 plus premium, depending on the negotiation that you negotiate with your buyers, considering your cost and other things. And there are other mass balance system that is in place. So there are levels of monies that unions and LBCs receive per the kind of certification they are under.
When we look at the future of Ghana's cocoa sector, based on the challenges we are experiencing at the moment, what does the future look like?
Hello?
Hello, Sifu, can you hear me?
Can you come back? And it seems the voice is very low.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, it's clear now.
When you look at the challenges we are facing in the cocoa sector at the moment, what does the future of the cocoa sector look like? Do you think?
The future of the cocoa sector in Ghana, to me, personally, would say that it doesn't look good at all. It doesn't look good because if you continue to experience a decline in your production, where you don't see an increase in production, but the production of cocoa continue to decline, it tells you that some systems are not right. As we attribute some of the factors to climate change, that the weather pattern have not been good because of climate change, we losing our forests, cutting our trees off, and the rain pattern is not now experienced by farmers and other things. And then illegal mining, all the water bodies are gone. Farmers cannot access water anymore. They have to go through difficulties before they can get water to do their farming and other things. And even the incentives for farmers is also low, because if you compare Ghana now to other Ghana, our cocoa bean is treated as the qualitiest or the premium cocoa in the world. But as we speak now, cocoa farmers in Nigeria are receiving more than 7,000 per 64 kilogram of cocoa. Cocoa farmers in Togo are receiving more than 7,000 Ghana cedis. Nigeria are receiving 7,000 Ghana cedis. The same cocoa bean, which Ghana cocoa is treated as the qualitiest, farmers are receiving 3,000. Look at the gap. The same farmers, the same cost, the same cocoa bean, but others are receiving 7,000, whilst others are receiving 3,000. Difference of 4,000 gap. It tells you that things are not right. And we can't appreciate a system that Ghana is a centralized system. Ghana, our trade is centralized. Government does everything on behalf of farmers. But we can't continue to be in a system whereby cocoa farmers will continue to be in difficulties. So we have to change the ways we use to market our cocoa, and we have to ensure that the welfare of farmers are met, because at the end of the day, it's the farmers who produce the cocoa. And some of the farmers are leaving because they see the cocoa as unattractive business. And today, the youth are not ready. They are not encouraged enough to come into the cocoa sector. So if you go to the cocoa growing communities, the average age of a farmer is around 55 to 60, 70. And you will not find 20, 30 years of cocoa farmers who are seriously working in the cocoa sector. All of them, some have migrated to the cities, some have found their way out, others are, and so many things. So I think the future of our industry doesn't look very, very encouraging.
In the complaint to Cocoa Board, one of the issues raised was a living income for farmers. When farmers say that they require a living income, what are you asking for?
Can you come again?
When farmers say that you require a living income, what are you asking for? Because in the complaint, one of the key issues raised was that farmers, a demand for a living income for farmers. What are you looking for when you say this?
So when we say living income, you take the work that you do. At the end of the day, are you able to buy food? Are you able to rent? Are you able to pay your transportations? Are you able to pay your children school fees? Are you able to reserve some money for funerals and other social programs? Are you able to access quality water? Are you able to access good health care? These are the things that someone is able to get through. It means the person is earning living income. And we are saying that cocoa farmers at the moment are not earning living income because the basic things that human beings have to get to live, farmers do not get them. As we speak, if you go to cocoa growing communities, some of them there is no health care. So if the farmer is endangered in the farm, or if the farmer falls sick, have to travel for so many distance. Sometimes you reach there and you are dead and gone. So farmers to earn living income means that at least the farmer should be able to get to take a good care of his children's school. He's able to pay his rent. He's able to survive. And we are saying farmers do not get all these things.
Okay.
Sometimes, if you go to the cocoa growing communities and see what the cocoa farmers are going through, you ask yourself that, is it this cocoa that people are making $1 billion profit annually? Is this cocoa that people are living in Land Cruisers and then people are buying big houses in the cities, whilst the farmers just even money to buy food they don't get, and it becomes difficult. So this is what if we meant of living income for cocoa farmers, we are saying the farmers should get all these things that I mentioned so that we can say farmers are earning living income.
Okay. Thank you, Isifu. You have said that you are on your way to the Cocoa House for a conversation with Cocoa Board. We'll be looking forward to engaging with you more following what your conversation will yield with the leadership of Cocoa Board.
Okay. Thank you very much for engaging me this morning.
Isifu Isaka is the president for the Cocoa Farmers Cooperative Union of Ghana, and the conversation is assessing the future of our cocoa sector, our cocoa industry. He says that the future does not look too good based on certain factors that he has outlined. The cocoa farmers are going to have a meeting with the leadership of Cocoa Board. We look forward to what comes out of the meeting, what will transpire as the meeting. That's all for Business Fix. Stay with us. We will be back very soon.
Over 5 million children have benefited from free SHS. Protect free SHS. Vote Dr. Baumia #1 on the ballot.
In 2017, the NPP
Thank you for staying with us. ABC in the morning, live on ABC News GH. We are live on YouTube, ABC News GH. That is the channel. Let's head straight into our main discussion for today. And today we are assessing Ghana's newly launched 5G network. Government of Ghana, through the Ministry of Communications and Digitalization, has taken a giant step to launch the 5G network. The 5G network, launched at the Palms Convention Center at the La Palm Royal Beach Hotel in Accra, has added Ghana to the ranks of countries who have embraced the cutting edge of 5G technology, geared towards revolutionizing Ghana's telecommunications sector. And at the launch of this highly anticipated 5G network, where the key stakeholders and participants within the telecommunications landscape, healthcare, banking, amongst other sectors. The 5G offers unparalleled data speeds up to 100 times faster than 4G, thereby enabling seamless video streaming, online gaming, cloud computing, reduced latency, and ensuring real-time connectivity, ideal for applications requiring instant responses such as virtual reality and remote healthcare delivery and stress-free banking service delivery. The managing director of Next Gen Infraco, Tenu Awuno, in his opening remarks at the official launch, promised that while the government seeks to revolutionize the country's digital landscape, Next Gen Infraco will ensure that there is financial and economic value for the country's huge investment in the global transition. Let's listen to what he said.
Age. Our progress with the digitized national ID system, e-governance initiatives, and mobile financial services demonstrate our commitment to modernization. 5G will enhance further these efforts, enabling quicker, more transparent, and more efficient public services. Security is also critical, and 5G offers advanced features to safeguard our digital infrastructure. With its increased capacity, we can better monitor and protect critical systems, ensuring that our digital future remains secure and sustainable. Ladies and gentlemen, as we celebrate this advancement, we must ensure that the benefits of 5G reach all Ghanaians, including those in our rural communities. Government is committed to bridging the digital divide so no Ghanaian is left behind. Our investments in rural broadband and mobile infrastructure underscore this commitment to inclusivity. We are partnering with the private sector to expand infrastructure in underserved areas, knowing that technology is only as impactful as its accessibility. Our vision is a Ghana where every citizen, regardless of location, can harness the power of 5G, unlocking opportunities that were once unimaginable. Today's achievement would not be possible without strong partnerships between government, telecommunications providers, technology firms, and regulatory agencies. The private sector's innovation, combined with government's vision, has brought us to this significant milestone. As we advance, these partnerships must remain robust, adaptive, and mutually beneficial. Our domestic and international stakeholders bring in valuable expertise, capital, and technology that align with our national priorities, can transform Ghana's digital landscape. I encourage our partners to stay engaged, as Ghana's digital journey is only just beginning. The journey ahead requires vision and responsibility. 5G is a powerful catalyst for shaping Ghana's future, but with this power comes the responsibility to use it wisely. We must address concerns around data privacy, cybersecurity, and responsible use to ensure that 5G fosters progress, not division. The youth, who make up the majority of the population, stand to benefit immensely from this digital era. Through initiatives like the Ghana Innovation Hub and coding programs, we're equipping them with digital skills to drive the future of innovation in Ghana. By empowering the youth, we ensure a future where domestic talent drives our digital transformation. Ladies and gentlemen, as we launch 5G in Ghana today, let us embrace our responsibility to build a stronger, more inclusive and prosperous Ghana. Our success will be measured not only by internet speeds, but by the tangible improvements in our people's lives, the growth of our industries, and our unity in fostering innovation across all regions. Let this day mark the beginning of a new era in our digital journey, one that leads Ghana to economic resilience, social inclusivity, and global competitiveness. Together, let us use the power of 5G to propel Ghana into a future of boundless possibilities, creating a legacy of innovation and progress for generations.
Heard the President of the Republic of Ghana, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, at the launch of Ghana's 5G, the launch of 5G in Ghana. Let's head into our conversation and speak with Kwesi Etuahene, the Executive Director for the Africa Center for Digital Transformation. Good morning, Kwesi. Thank you for joining us.
Hi, good morning. And good morning to you, your entire crew, and our cherished viewers and listeners.
Kwesi, how will you describe the 5G network that has been launched? Is it a transformative step for the future, or should we still express some restraint yet?
Well, thank you very much for the question. I think that the concept around the 5G is an ambitious one. And I might say that it may be a bold step into the future. But for those of us who may be Christians watching or listening to this conversation, Jesus in the book of Luke may have mentioned to the disciples that will a man build his house except he has counted all the costs. So it is important that as a nation, if you seek to make such a bold, giant step of this kind, then you should have counted the cost. The 5G telephony services offer some significant improvements, I must say, in terms of internet speed, latency, connectivity. But it is also equally come with its own challenges, which I believe that the nation Ghana must prepare. As of now, we are not so prepared. For instance, in terms of infrastructural costs, the rollout of the 5G may require a very dense network of small cell powers, fiber optics. Another very important infrastructure, which we may have to install around several base stations around the country. Also, in terms of device compatibility, some of the devices already in the system may be adaptable to 3G and 4G. If you roll out a 5G, it means that you may also have to replace them with devices that can match up with the network you are running. I hope you understand. Typical example, if you use an iPhone 6, there are some services that iPhone is currently running you cannot have access to, no matter how much you update, unless you have perhaps bought the latest iPhone or close to the latest. It's the same thing that's happening. So it's not just so much a component of rolling out an ambitious idea. It's also about counting the cost thereof, which I strongly do believe that the preparation and the build-up towards the launch is not complete yet.
Don't you think that at this moment, launching it and then continuing with whatever preparations or after launching it, adding up to buffering or adding some strength to the system is what we need, instead of waiting for everything to be put in place before we launch it? By then, the world would have moved on beyond us. Don't you think?
Well, I think that history has some lessons to share for us to make a decision like this kind. For instance, the former President Kufuor, His Excellency Kufuor Ajekum, was the one who first started the concept of the National Identification Authority and the Ghana card. Fast forward, some money was paid, the card started, they couldn't really complete it. Mr. Mahama came, also continued in a certain manner, and now it was awarded to a certain company and it's been rolled out and it's almost like a compulsory card. It's important that we prepare well before we launch idea. Otherwise, we end up paying a lot of money. We end up not, because we are not fully prepared, the cost component may also be factored in terms of mistakes we may make in the build-up. Energy consumption around the 5G base stations is very important. If you build a base station, you are likely to put a plant there to support it. Because we don't have very stable lightning system and energy systems in this part of the world. Also, in different rural communities, it's important that you prepare for such, also in terms of energy consumption and the preparation towards supporting the base station. Cybersecurity is a very important component once you roll out a 5G, because with more devices being connected, the data transfer from network to network and 5G increases potential cyber attacks from not necessarily cyber threats in the country, but even external entities. So it's very, very, very important. Lastly, I would want to say that I don't know whether I've ever visited Noguchi or the University of Ghana Medical Center. They have an ultramodern center. Most of them sort of depend on tech-driven equipment to run the hospital. Health and environmental concerns are very important. If you have not been able to address energy stability issues and you have 5G where hospitals are dependent on, it will be very disastrous to have light out in Ghanaian terms and you are using 5G network on any of your devices. It will be far more disastrous than 3G or 4G. So as much as the idea of having 5G to improve speed, to improve connectivity, to ensure that more devices are connected, it behoves on us as a nation to prepare. As the Bible will say that you must count the cost. You must make sure at least you have a total idea of the cost involved in the component before you roll out the 5G. It is very important. As of now, the nation is not prepared. The preparation towards it is not so there. But I can understand the initiative around the 5G. It has a business entity idea. It has components of people who have some beneficiary around this next gen infraco idea. Also, they have pinned the idea of we are the ones who introduced this so that in future politicking they can be used for campaigning. That we started it, we introduced it, and all of that. So I can understand the political will and the political ideas that are behind it. But beyond the politics of it, in terms of the technicality as at it, we are not so prepared. As a center, I think that we would want to use your medium to reach out to Ghanaians and encourage right-thinking Ghanaians to be able to speak up and ensure that governments don't spend and overspend again. Otherwise, every time the nation will be broke and we would have to borrow. It's important that big initiatives like this, we are prepared before we launch it.
Kwesi, concerns have been raised that the deal with the Next Gen Infraco, who are frontiering this 5G network, is shrouded in security. As Africa Center for Digital Transformation, would you say that these concerns are well allayed?
Well, I thank you very much for the question. I have also followed the conversation right from the word go, right from the conversation between the presidency, the Ministry of Communication, and the conversations around it. I must say that there are some procurement issues, there are some constitutional issues, there are Parliament saying that we never approved anything. That is not directly under, it's not an issue that directly the Africa Center for Digital Transformation would be so much concerned about in terms of the procurement components and the governance components of it. But what I can say is that
transparency in the digital space is also very important. Knowing who owns what, especially when it's public-private partnership and some private faces are involved, it's important that the percentage component of the idea is quite clear. Who owns what and who benefits from what is also quite clear. As it stands now, we are not so clear about the persons who are board of directors of Nezin Infraco. We are also not so clear about who owns the idea and who benefits from the revenue generation of this component. Once the launch has been made, we look forward into a future where MTN, Airtel, Tigo, Vodafone are likely to purchase services of 5G from these entities. Nezin Infraco becomes the wholesaler and all that has become retailers. So it's one that empowers them. And if you read the contract quite carefully, the payment system is so flexible. It's almost as though we've dashed the country's telecommunication to them. But I would want to say that that is not so much of a big concern to the Africa Center for Digital Transformation. Our big concern is the preparation before the launch. Because now that you have launched it, presumably you are ready to execute it. Now, what is our preparation technically to get it executed so that the people of Ghana can benefit from such innovations in terms of infrastructure and the cost component thereof, in terms of devices compatibility? Quite a number of Ghana, if you have a statistics, you realize that very few of us use very, very modern phones in terms of smartphones. You know, few Ghanaians may have been using their phones 2 years, 3 years, 5 years ago. And there are a chunk of Ghanaians who don't even use smartphones. All right, so if you have launched 5G, it means that those who are already using some kind of phones would have to now buy new phones that matches with the services you intend to run so that they can benefit from the 5G. That's also a component of cost. Not every phone will support 5G. Ghanaians should bear in mind with that also. And also, another very important component is that the health concerns and environmental concerns are very important. Hospitals, health research centers, that may be dependent on the 5G. It is requirable that we have stable energy supply, which we have had issues for a couple of years now. As of now, there are so many places in Ghana that they do not have electricity. There are so many places in Ghana that don't have stable electricity, and yet we've gone ahead to launch a 5G. However, we proceeded and it's been launched anyway, so it's important that we quickly speed up and prepare. And I think we are about 48 days or 34 days to election, I beg your pardon. And whoever becomes the next president must make it a point to review the contract that has been awarded and make sure that it factors in the preparatory process so that we don't just throw initiatives of this kind to and make sure that the profits can win. Thank you.
Take for anybody to be able to access 5G? Is it that at the moment it hasn't started rolling? Because if I go on my phone and I don't see a 5G service, should I wait for a while to be able to access it?
Yes, I think what has been happening now is that they have launched the technical team would have to take up the initiative to building the network in terms of the fiber optics, in terms of the connectivity, in terms of the base stations that would help supply the network. That has not been done. It may take some time. This conversation may drag into 4 years before it may really happen. What is happening now is also setting the baseline and setting the ownership schemes. So chances are that in the next 5 years, government may change hands, but the people that may be controlling the 5G network may be people who are in government today. So it's not one that because it's been launched around this time, quickly you may see 5G network on your phone. It will take some time, 4 or 5 years.
4 or 5 years. That's quite a long time to look at, basically.
Yes, that's quite some long time because the cost component I mentioned is not cheap at all. If you would want to run, the latency that 5G requires will require that you build base stations in almost every region, almost every district. Now, the base stations have not even been started. So if you are looking at building base stations, at least in almost every district, that would take quite some time. So I think what's happening now basically is to launch it so that a party can own it and pin it down as part of their campaign wheel that we started it, and it can also factor in the campaign that we've launched 5G as part of the digital campaign. And also they can also take in terms of a business initiative and a component that would own that initiative in terms of revenue and its profitability.
Kwesi, the minister said that in her speech, spoke about affordability with regards to this 5G network. In our conversations with you, you've mentioned about costs being high. Are we going to expect a reduction or an increase in the cost of services, especially data services, due to this 5G network?
Thank you very much. I also did listen to the minister's speech, and I must say that many of the things that she said may be true, and I can understand. But in terms of cost, especially cost of data, is a very false. In fact, if you want 5G service, you would pay more pricing for your data. All right, you cannot expect that you have data in terms of speed, in terms of connectivity, and data pricing will be cheap. Already, Ghanaians are complaining about the cost of internet data. There have been a number of demonstrations on social media, Twitter, and a few others, comparing the data components in Ghana and Nigeria and a few of our neighboring countries. The reason why data is expensive in Ghana is also because of the infrastructural components and the tax systems on these infrastructure and production services. That's what makes the data expensive in Ghana. But the same people who refuses to take up the initiative of building and making sure that the infrastructure is of public entity and the government owns them so that people can have access and it can be cheap, will privatize it, and afterwards the data would have to be expensive because MTN and the others would have to buy from NextGen Infraco and also resell. It will be expensive, definitely. So Ghanaians should also prepare, and especially you should prepare as the 5G network is being rolled so that you can be able to have access. But I can assure you that the data pricing of 5G network will be more expensive than it is now that we have 4G and 3G.
Hello, Kwesi.
Hello.
Yeah, so you are saying that Ghanaians should prepare to pay more for 5G?
Absolutely. Ghanaians should prepare to pay more in terms of data and the cost of data.
Okay. Thank you for speaking with us this morning, Kwesi.
Thank you very much for having me always. I'm grateful for your time.
Kwesi Etuahene is the Executive Director for the Africa Center for Digital Transformation. He says that though the country is making a bold step such as this, we must count the costs of this 5G by being prepared. He believes that at the moment Ghana is not adequately prepared to roll out a 5G service. But if we have rolled it out, we should realize that we will be paying more for data. We will be paying more for data because of this 5G network. The conversation doesn't end here. Let's get into another conversation on our main discussion. But before that, let's take a quick breather. We will be back. for staying with us. You're still watching ABC in the morning. Like I said earlier, we reminded that the Poll Center is here on ABC in the morning. For all the credible information you need about elections, you should be tuned into the Poll Center and to ABC News GH. On Poll Center, we say that votes, not violence. Before, during, and after the elections, what is needed is your votes. Make a decision before the elections. During the elections, go and vote. After the elections, be rest assured that the EC will announce who the winner of the elections is. Don't be used as a conduit for any violence, and so we entreat you to pay attention to votes and not violence. Let's get into our next discussion for this morning, and we're looking at Parliament. Parliament is set to reconvene on November 7. NDC MPs have also vowed that they will take their place on the right-hand side of the Speaker. Speaker of Parliament has issued a communique recalling members of Parliament to sit on Thursday, November 7, with arrangements specified in the notice sent out on Thursday, October 31. According to the Speaker, the recall is made pursuant to Article 112, Clause 3 of Ghana's Constitution and Standing Orders 5 and 53, allowing the Speaker to summon Parliament as needed in the public interest. Although specific agenda items have not been disclosed, the recall suggests that urgent national matters may be under consideration. Members are expected to arrive in Accra promptly to address pressing issues affecting the nation. This announcement follows Speaker Alban Badmin's decision to indefinitely adjourn parliamentary proceedings on Tuesday, October 22, 2024, after a contentious day in the chamber. Tensions were high as members of Parliament from the New Patriotic Party and the National Democratic Congress clashed over which caucus holds the majority. Additionally, Speaker Bobbin referenced a communication from the Supreme Court which directed him to stay his prior ruling that declared 4 parliamentary seats vacant. In a subsequent development, the Supreme Court on Wednesday, October 30, dismissed a stay application filed by the Speaker upholding its initial directive. This ruling effectively reinstated the contested seats temporarily and highlighted the ongoing tensions between the majority and minority factions in Parliament. This unprecedented move raised concerns about the operational integrity of Parliament and the need for a swift resolution to restore order. In response to the continuing, the NDC MPs have indicated that they remain majority until otherwise determined by the Speaker of Parliament, as they only take instructions from the Speaker and not the Supreme Court. They insist that they will sit on the right side of the Speaker when the House resumes on Thursday. This is what the NDC has said. So Speaker is reconvening Parliament on November 7th, Thursday. NDC says that they will continue to sit on the right-hand side of Speaker on Thursday. They say that this is because they, the NDC, only take instructions from the Speaker, not from any other body. This conversation about who to sit where stems from when the NDC invoked Article 97 of the Constitution. Subsequently, Speaker declared some seats vacant. MPP took the matter to the Supreme Court. Supreme Court stayed the execution of Speaker's ruling and all, and now this is where we have reached. The Speaker says that he's reconvening Parliament on November 7. We have joining us for a conversation Dr. Rashid Draman. He is the Executive Director for the African Center for Parliamentary Affairs. Dr. Draman, thank you for joining us.
Yes, good morning.
Speaker is set to reconvene Parliament on November 7. How do you see this playing out in Parliament, following all of the conversations that have led up until this time?
Well, I mean, the Speaker has been compelled by the petition
signed by a group of MPs, so he has to obey that petition according to their standing orders. What we don't know yet is whether the issue of who is majority, who is minority has been resolved. If that has not been resolved, then when they go into the chamber, we are going to see a repeat of what happened the last time they met.
The NDC MPs say that they take their orders only from the speaker.
There is too much noise. People are speaking on your program. I can't hear you, madam.
My apologies, sir. Can you hear me now?
Yes, please. Let them go off the noise. Otherwise, this interview will be a bit difficult.
My apologies. Pardon us, sir. The NDC MPs have said that they do not take any instructions from anybody but the speaker. Following the Supreme Court's declaration, shouldn't the NDC MPs understand that this is where they have gotten to at this point with the conversation, and so to avoid any more tussle on or any more conversations on this, to just follow what the Supreme Court has said?
Yes, ideally, I think that's what everybody is expecting. That, I mean, we all are law-abiding in this country, and matters like this will be, resolved easily, and everybody would understand where they stand. But it looks like, this matter is not just a legal matter alone. It has political connotations, and that is where I think that those who are dealing with this matter are not paying attention to, because you cannot just resolve this through legal means, because there is precedent. There are already issues and disagreements between the two sides because of the tight numbers and all those things. We are not in normal times, so one would expect that there would be a two-track kind of approach. While the legal processes are going on, the political processes should also go on, so that at least, hopefully, the two can converge at some point. Because the NDC group and the MPP group, they have all dug in. I'm not too sure at this point if the whole caucus say we disregard the Supreme Court. I don't think that all of them can be locked up for contempt of the court and so on. It will create very serious political crisis in this country. So that is where that aspect needs to be handled, and I just hope that maybe that has been done. And if that has been done, hopefully on Thursday we will see some cool heads prevailing, and we will see maybe a very calm chamber, everybody taking their rightful places, and the work of Parliament would continue.
Dr. Draman, when you say that a two-track approach is where there will be a convergence at some point, can you go with us how this two-track approach should be looked at, and how we should get to that convergence?
Yes, because I know, for instance, the last communication we heard from the Speaker before he traveled, he said the Council of State has come to meet him. They've had some discussions, but we didn't hear about the other parties, because the Speaker is not the only party in this. There's the NDC caucus, there's the MPP caucus, there's the Supreme Court. If there is a disagreement, you don't deal with only one side, right? So I'm just hopeful that some conversations have taken place at the same time with all the key actors, and maybe even if possible, bringing all the key actors together to say, look, we have a country to run, things cannot continue this way, we have serious business to finish before we go for elections. In the name of our country, can we have some agreement? Can everybody at least even agree to disagree? And the status quo ante, that is before all these Supreme Court issues, can be allowed to prevail. I mean, if that is what the Council of State and other elders are looking for. But if that is not done, and for instance, it's only the Speaker who has been appealed to, I guess we might have a repeat of the last time, because like I keep saying, this requires some political tools as well. I mean, it's just not legal alone, because you heard the NDC people saying the court cannot tell them where to sit. And if this is a position that they are taking, and we are hearing all kinds of, this morning I was reading something attributed to the majority whip saying that the speaker is a worst speaker in the Fourth Republic. Things like this don't help an already difficult situation. So that's what I'm talking about, the political and the legal, and then maybe we'll get some convergence at some point. At the end of the day, politics is about compromise and about deal making and about discussion and about agreement or disagreement. But where there's disagreement, everybody should be on the same page. Look, we can't find a solution, we have agreed to disagree. Everybody just sit where you are. But I think the approaches that I'm seeing is almost like a command, and this has to be done this way. And that is what is creating all the difficulties. So let's hope we still have some days before Thursday.
We still have some days before Thursday. Thank you for speaking with us this morning, Dr. Rashid Draman. Dr. Rashid Draman is the Executive Director for the Africa Center for Parliamentary Affairs, ASEPA, on this conversation. He says we should have a two-track approach for this issue, a legal and political one, where there will be a convergence, because this matter is a big one, a matter that needs to be solved and solved well, a matter that will also help all of us if it is able to be solved properly. And that is it with Dr. Rashid Draman. But we're still having this conversation on Parliament. Parliament will reconvene on November 7. NDC MPs say that they vow to sit on Speaker's right-hand side when Parliament reconvenes. We have joining us Honorable ABA Fuseni. He is the MP for Sagnerigu constituency. Good morning, Honorable. Thank you for joining us. Good morning, Honorable. Thank you for your time this morning.
Hello.
Hello, Honorable. Honorable Fuseni.
Yes, Madam. Yeah, good morning.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, and thanks for having me.
Speaker is reconvening Parliament on November 7. NDC MPs say that they will sit on the right-hand side of Speaker. Why are NDC MPs so determined to defy the Supreme Court's ruling on this vacant seat impasse?
As far as we are concerned, that is where the matter is. The matter is, and the handling of the proceedings of Parliament is the direct responsibility of Mr. Speaker. The members of Parliament don't take orders from the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court has no authority to direct members of Parliament as to what they should do. That is clearly unlawful. And we don't take orders from the Supreme Court. We take orders from Mr. Speaker. And so if Mr. Speaker directs the House accordingly, that is what we are going to do. And so there's nothing illegal about what you are talking about. The only illegal thing is if an outside body gives directives as to how proceedings on the floor of the House should take place. That is the illegality. And if the Supreme Court attempts to give directives to members of Parliament as to how they should handle the proceedings, it's clearly illegal. They don't have that authority. It is only Mr. Speaker. And so to the extent that we listen to only Mr. Speaker, that is how we are going to act on the 7th when we get to Parliament.
So on Thursday,
so there's nothing illegal about that.
So on Thursday, Honorable Fuseni, we should expect that the NDC will be occupying the right-hand side of the...
Yeah, the majority. Mr. Speaker accordingly pronounced us as the majority. I mean, and I'm sure you are aware the circumstances under which Mr. Speaker made that pronouncement. So as far as we are concerned, nothing to the contrary has been told members of Parliament. And so until we are told, we will behave and act accordingly as the majority party in parliament.
Honorable Speaker declared
Yes.
seats vacant. He did not declare NDC as majority. He declared the seats as vacant.
Were you in the House? Mr. Speaker, in making his ruling, having declared the 4 seats vacant, 1 on the NDC side, 3 on the NPP group side, indicated that the NPP now had 135 seats and that the NDC had 136. Did you hear that?
We did.
Hello?
Yes, Honorable.
Anybody who was in Parliament on that day heard Mr. Speaker say that they having lost 3 members on their side, the NPP group has reduced from 138 to 135. And then having lost 1 member of Parliament from our side, the NDC, we are reduced from 137 to 136. So if you have 136 and 135, which is bigger? Madam?
Yes, Honorable.
136 and 135, which is bigger?
136 is bigger.
Obviously. So that puts us in the majority. Mr. Speaker didn't even need to say you are a majority side or not.
Honorable, the Speaker expressly say that because of this, NDC in Parliament is now the majority in Parliament.
No, Mr. Speaker produced abundant evidence. And take note, it was a minority leader, Honorable Atufoso, who moved in a statement that and drew Mr. Speaker's attention to the fact that 4 of our colleagues have changed their status. Honorable Kwachi Aka, on the side of the NDC, had moved from the NDC to become an independent member of Parliament. Then Honorable Asante Boaf, member of Parliament for Seoul, on the ticket of the MPP, had moved from MPP to independent. And Madam Cynthia Morrison, member of Parliament for Aguna West, had moved from MPP to independent. And then the Deputy Speaker, second Deputy Speaker of Parliament, who was working with the NPP group, had moved from an independent to file on the ticket of the NPP. Mr. Speaker had written to the Electoral Commission, and the Electoral Commission had furnished Mr. Speaker with the notice of poll. And the notice of poll is the glaring evidence of the change of status of these 4 MPs. That indicates to you that they were elected to Parliament on the ticket of MPP or independent, and they shifted their terms. Just like the NDC member who was elected to Parliament on the ticket of the NDC, and he has become independent. So that was the evidence. And Mr. Speaker does not need any report or complaint from any political party. Mr. Speaker doesn't need that. All that Mr. Speaker needs under Order 18 of Parliament is just to be furnished with the facts that members have changed their status. And so once this was brought to the attention of Mr. Speaker by the minority leader, and Mr. Speaker proceeded to investigate the matter and got conclusive evidence that their status had changed, there was no controversy at all. Mr. Speaker just made the declaration on the strength of the facts that were before him. And that is it.
Honorable Hussein, one will ask, what will NDC MPs gain, even if you are declared majority side of the House? We have 2 months before the rising.
My sister, it's like asking me, what will you gain when you comply with the law? That is what is lawful in Parliament. In Parliament, we sit on the majority and minority sides. Is that not the case? Madam, is that not the case?
It is the case.
So that is the law. And that is the practice of the House. We are in the majority and minority basis. And of course, I'm sure you are not oblivious of the fact that if you are in the majority, you control proceedings on the floor of the House. I'm sure you know that.
Right.
It's a numbers game. And so if we in the NDC are in the majority on the floor of the House, clear. I mean, there is no difficulty ascertaining that there are a number of changes. I'm sure you are aware. We have signaled that we are going to scrap the e-levy. I'm sure you are aware that we had. It was a matter we had opposed before even the government went to the Supreme Court to try and get one of our members, as it were, shortlisted so that he cannot function as a member of Parliament. I'm talking of Honorable Jachikwesi, just to get the e-levy pass. That was what they managed to get the Supreme Court to do for them. And so you know that it is a matter that we are very exercised about. And so if we have the opportunity in the majority and there's any sitting, and there's a possibility of getting rid of the e-levy for the benefit of Ghanaians, because Ghanaians are suffering too much, and to continue to have these obnoxious nuisance taxes that further go to make life more burdensome for them. If you can get it off, we are thinking of scrapping the betting tax. You know, you can provide jobs for young people, and they have some means of scrapping a living, and you want to go there to and take the monies on them. We are taking it away. We are taking a number of obnoxious tax reliefs they are trying to give, tax benefits they are giving to their cronies. We will not pass those ones. We will use our majority to stop the passage of all those. So I can tell you that Ghanaians are going to benefit from the majority status that the NDC has got. We will not only do rescission legislation to rescind some of those decisions, but we will as well ensure that those other measures the government seeks to impose. Look, clearly now, they are seeking to even borrow more. My sister, you are aware that this country has borrowed, we have borrowed away almost into extinction. We have borrowed away into this grave economic malaise, where the economy is on the verge of collapse, where we have been blacklisted from the capital markets, where our economy has been rated as junk under this government, and where we have defaulted on the payment of our debts. This is unprecedented in the annals of our country's history. We can't allow these days to go on. And so with that majority that I'm indicating to you, we will stop all these measures and ensure that sanity returns to
Honorable, should we look forward to a full house on Thursday? Seeing as most of the MPs are also on campaigning to be...
And let me just add to you that even the MPP, they are finding it difficult to bring it. A lot of their members are disillusioned with the party. Look, you ask anybody, if you have a correspondent in Parliament, ask them. Their members, at the last count that they came, less than 60 of their members came to Parliament. We had a full house. In fact, and long before that, we have been helping them to do government business because their numbers don't come. Many of their members are frustrated, angry, and they are disenchanted with the leadership of the party. So they just know that, look, the party is on its way to opposition. And so people are already thinking about their lives and not allowing the leadership to hoodwink them into something. So the numbers game is they will even lose if they come on the 7th and the Parliament opens. I'm sure that they can even summon their numbers.
Honorable, there seems to be a calculated attack on the Supreme Court and the judiciary from the NDC MPs on these vacated seats. We've heard some comments. Are you not threading dangerously if you are setting up the judiciary for...
We are acting within the ambit of the law. And I just told you, the judiciary does not run Parliament. The judiciary does not have any authority to run Parliament. It's not their business. Madam, is it their business to run Parliament? We are operating a system of separation of powers, checks and balances. The judiciary has its operational area. The legislature has its operational area. Nobody can direct Mr. Speaker as to how he should conduct business in the House. Nobody, and we will not allow that to happen. Nobody can direct Mr. Speaker as to how he should conduct the business of the House. It is for Mr. Speaker, and we will listen to nobody. We will only listen to Mr. Speaker. So if Mr. Speaker directs that this is how, or we are bound by this decision, that decision, fine, we comply. That's Mr. Speaker. But nobody, the President has no authority to come to the House and tell us how we should run. Neither does the Chief Justice have the authority to come and tell us how the House should be run.
Honorable, in any case, this is a matter of interpretation of the law, which lies solely with the judiciary, with the Supreme Court.
I'm sure that you are aware that Mr. Speaker has disagreed with that. I'm sure you are aware. Mr. Speaker has gone back to the court to tell them that they were wrong.
And when they went back, the
that is not essentially an interpretation of the interpretation. It's about the proceedings in the House, which is squarely within the bosom of the Speaker.
Honorable courts, yes. The Supreme Court did not acknowledge the stay that the Speaker wanted. The Speaker's lawyers said that it didn't lie within the the jurisdiction of the Supreme Court to look at matters such as these. The Supreme Court also determined that indeed it lay within their jurisdiction to look at the matter. So the Supreme Court has clearly stated it out. And we haven't expected an interpretation of the
provision. You have listened to many prominent lawyers, including Mr. Ansar Asare, the former director of the Ghana School of Law, Professor Kofi Abuchi, many of them, they have commented on this matter. I said it was a constitutional overreach. The Supreme Court should not have done what it did. I'm sure you heard them, many of them. So that has anchored and strengthened the hand of Mr. Speaker to ask the court to review his own decision. Because inherently, Mr. Speaker and many other well-meaning Ghanaians have seen that what the court did was an overreach. And that they don't have authority to do what they had done. And so we are all working in the protection of our democracy. So I'm just making it very clear that it is Mr. Speaker we listen to. At the end of the day, if Mr. Speaker comes and says ABCD, that is what we are going to comply with.
So if Mr. Speaker comes and says that...
As we speak, we have not yet got any directive from Mr. Speaker.
If Mr. Speaker says that NDC vacate the majority side of Parliament, will you vacate?
That is the decision of Mr. Speaker. We respect Mr. Speaker's decision. I just told you that.
Okay. Honorable,
it is Mr. Speaker's decision which I respect, but I'm indicating to you that this particular matter is wrong. And not only have many people criticized the decision of the court on this matter, but it's a dangerous precedent for our democracy. Look, my sister, you go and file something within a matter of hours. The court could be convened within a matter of hours to take decision. When there are many issues long before, some months, some years, pending before the court that they have not even heard.
Honorable, they've explained
we should develop the knack to stand up for our democracy and seek the truth. Because our democracy is being eroded. I'm sure that you sing the Afro barometer on confidence in the judiciary. Matters like this bring the esteem of the judiciary. It's lowering people's confidence in the judiciary. They should not be doing this kind of thing.
Honorable, you are a ranking member on communications, on the communications committee in Parliament. The 5G network has been launched. Is there a working framework for the newly launched network that you are aware of?
Yeah, you know, this was a special purpose vehicle that was built to handle it. And they are doing it in conjunction with the MNOs. And I want to believe that that framework will provide some clarity in respect of how the rollout of the 5G will be. But I laudable as it is, I still think, and on the committee, we have spoken many times and had interactions with the NCA, the National Communications Authority, and then the Ministry of Communications regarding poor network even in many areas across the country. You go to many areas, the people cannot have even access to basic contact. They are completely shut off, and they cannot have access to even make calls. And so we, through what do I call them, TIFEC, that is the Ghana Infrastructure Fund for Electronic Communication, have been working to ensure that their funding is improved. And indeed, Parliament was instrumental in getting NCA to give them some assistance to expand on the rural telephony network. Because we think that in the rural areas, many communities are cut off and don't have access to a telephone network. So that for us is that even as the rollout of 5G is important and will enhance citizen communication, we must not forget our brothers and sisters who don't have any means to get join the conversation, the national conversation and the national dialogue. Because in many of these areas, there's virtually no network. I'm sure you have even heard of stories of people climbing coconut trees, the tallest coconut tree or the great stand and mountain top in order to be able to get reception. I think that is not good enough. We really have to also, even as we roll out the 5G, to step up the process of getting our brothers and sisters connectivity so that they can be part of the national dialogue.
Honorable Fusaini, the NDC in Parliament raised some concerns about next-gen infraco all around the NDC raised some concerns about next-gen infraco the
MTN.
Next Gen Infraco.
Yes.
Yes. Have your concerns been allayed? Have they been taken care of?
No, number one, the circumstances under which it was done, really it was done in some significant degree of opacity. It wasn't transparent. And I'm sure even when the committee met the FCA and the minister, they agreed that they could have done better with enhancing the processes leading to the formation of the single purpose vehicle. Because we just said it all of a sudden. There was no sharing of information, no involvement of major stakeholders. And the ministry just came out with that. And so many people thought that no, the manner in which it was done was not transparent. And so that created a lot of room for people to speculate and to say so many other things. And so clearly, I'm sure that since then, some degree of engagements have gone on. And I want to believe that the information that has come out is helping to, even though it is not totally clear everything, but it's helping to give some more clarity to the process and get more stakeholders involved so that all of us will work towards ensuring that the rollout of the 5G goes out successfully. It's in the national interest to do so, and I believe that if the NCA and in conjunction with its oversight ministry, the Ministry of Communications, continue to engage stakeholders, and then to also, more importantly, Parliament. I think that many would think that it needs some parliamentary approval and others, because there are some international elements involved. But be that as it may, I'm sure we will together see how all of us can work to make the process better.
We are grateful for your time this morning, Honorable Fuseni.
And thanks for that. But I just want to urge that all of us should be motivated to standing up for the truth and for the defense of our democracy. When we get things that are done that tend to undermine our democratic principles and tenets, we must be bold enough to say it as it is. Otherwise, we will keep quiet and our democracy will delay. And when our democracy is delayed, all of us will suffer for it. So I thank you for your work and continue to be vigilant and speak the truth and let Ghanaians know the truth. I am very confident that the NDC is coming and President Mama, by the grace of Allah, on January 7th, 2025, will be sworn in as president, and this country will be reset and our democracy will be on course.
Thank you for your time. Honorable ABA Fuseni is the MP for Sagnerigu constituency on our conversation about Parliament reconvening on November 7. He says that Ghanaians will benefit from a majority NDC in Parliament, that if NDC is the majority in Parliament, Ghanaians will benefit from that status. And he says that the NPP members are disillusioned, disenchanted and angry at the NPP. That is why the NPP members are not even showing up in Parliament. That's all we have for main discussion today. Let's take a breather. We will be back.
million children have benefited from free SHS. Protect free SHS. Vote Dr. Baumia #1 on the ballot.
Service efficiency. Since then, we've revolutionized how services are delivered with the Ghana card and mobile money interoperability, enhancing speed and accessibility. Our efforts have greatly improved government interactions, making life easier for every Ghanaian. However, our vision doesn't stop here. We aim to further expand and modernize Ghana's digital landscape. The journey towards a fully integrated digital society continues. Stand with us. Vote for innovation. Vote for Baumia. Baumia means business. In 2000,
know that the poll center is coming your way for all of the credible information, all of the updates on the elections before, during, and after the elections. You want to be glued and stay tuned to ABC News GH for the poll center. It says votes, not violence. Don't be used as a conduit to perpetuate any form of violence. Pay attention to the decision you're going to make come December 7 and be confident in your decision. After you have cast your vote, come back home and await the EC as they announce who wins the elections. After that, don't hit the street to perpetuate any violence. Don't let anybody incite any violence in you. Pay attention to ABC News GH. Will bring you all of the credible information you need ahead of the elections. Up next is Politics Today. We are assessing the fate of the NDC in Memphis Central parliamentary elections. Our focus is on Memphis Central constituency. Now, the latest from the constituency is that the National Democratic Congress, NDC, has escalated its legal battle over the recognition of its parliamentary candidates for the Memphis Central by filing a fresh writ at the 2nd D High Court. This comes in the wake of a setback on Thursday, October 31, 2024, when the Accra High Court dismissed the NDC's earlier application for an injunction aimed at halting the Electoral Commission's ballot paper printing process and the issuance of the notice of poll for the upcoming parliamentary elections in Memphis Central. The dispute stems from the EC's refusal to recognize Joanna Jan Kujo as the duly elected NDC candidate for Memphis Central, despite a previous High Court ruling in 2nd D on May 13, 2024, which had ordered that Kujo be acknowledged as the legitimate candidate. According to the National Democratic Congress, this refusal by the Electoral Commission disregards the earlier ruling, which they argue clearly indicated or identified Joanna Jan Kujo as the rightful representative of the party. The situation has led to months of contention between the NDC and the Electoral Commission, as both sides hold firm to their interpretations of the court's mandate. The Accra High Court's recent dismissal of the NDC's October 17 injunction application hinged on its interpretation of the pending legal situation. In its ruling, the court noted that the Electoral Commission's stance was aligned with other pending orders related to the matter, implying that any immediate action to halt the Electoral Commission's printing process would be premature. However, the NDC has taken issue with this interpretation, asserting that the court's ruling was based on flawed reasoning. According to the party, the court relied on a previous injunction that they argue should no longer be relevant to the current circumstances. We want to ask what the fate of the NDC is, what is happening, and also what the facts, also for the fact that we have just a few days to the elections, what will the NDC be doing? Joining us is the Deputy Director for IT and Elections for the NDC, Dr. Rashid Tanko Computer. Good, and we will be engaging him on it so that we understand what the NDC seeks to do now that the elections are getting closer. The last time we spoke with Mustafa Bande, the Deputy General Secretary of the NDC, he said that no election will be held in a Memphis Central without an NDC candidate on the ballot paper. He was very clear on that if any elections will be held in a Memphis Central, NDC will be on the ballot paper. The MP for NDC there at the moment is one of the MPs whose seat was declared vacant by the Speaker of Parliament, Peter Kwachiaka. He is the MP there. They went for primaries, and Joanna Jan Kujo emerged victorious. There have been various contentions about that election, and it is here that the NDC has gotten to at the moment. The EC disqualified Joanna Jan Kujo because of an issue in court regarding her election as the parliamentary candidate for the NDC in the Memphis Central parliamentary elections. The NDC also says that the AEC has no ground to stand to say that they are disqualifying Joanna Jan Kujo. The NDC says that in this election, there's no way there will be an election without an NDC candidate on the ballot paper. At the moment, we have barely 30 days to go to the elections. EC has published notice of poll. EC has also begun to print parliamentary ballot papers. The NDC is seeking to halt the EC from printing any ballot papers in a Memphis Central, as their candidate at the moment has been disqualified. We want to find out what the fate of the NDC is in a Memphis Central. Will we see an election where NDC is not on the ballot? In any case, Peter Kwachiaka is standing as an independent candidate for the constituency at the moment. We'll be looking at engaging Dr. Rashid Tanko Computer, the Deputy Director for IT and Elections for the NDC. But all of these conversations give credence to the poll center. We will be bringing you the poll center. We'll look at all of the dynamics that have stemmed out of these elections, all of the new things that we are seeing in the elections, the nuances and all on the poll center. It's for that you should be tuned in here on ABC News GH. Votes, not elections, because it is votes, not violence. Pardon me. Because it's votes and not violence, will bring you every information on votes, why you should vote, the need to pay attention to your votes, how you should vote, and everything that is required as we go to the polls come December 7. You want to be tuned into ABC News GH for all of the credible information. We'll have conversations that will matter to you, the conversations that you will need as we head into the elections. But at the moment, we are looking at the fate of the NDC, barely 30 days to the elections. Will NDC have a representation on the ballot paper? Dr. Rashid Tanko Computer is the Deputy Director for IT and Elections for the NDC. Good morning, Doc. Thank you for joining us. Dr. Tanko.
Yes, good morning. Yeah, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you, sir. How are you too?
Oh, I'm terrific.
After the court's ruling, your party is accusing the High Court that it's ruled based on flawed reasoning. We would like to know on what grounds you are saying this and what these flawed reasons are.
We are concerned about the basis upon which the High Court dismissed our injunction application, because they based their reasoning on the old injunction which was placed on Madam Joanna after the first primaries was conducted. And you know, after that, we went and nullified that election, that elected Madam Joanna, the first instance, and had another process to elect a fresh candidate. And in the next process that we held, Madam Joanna emerged again. And so to us, that one doesn't suffice. But since the learned judge, to his thinking, believed that old injunction is still active, and he cannot grant another injunction again, we decided to go and file another process at Secondary High Court, the court that issued the first injunction, so that in order to vacate that injunction, and a date has been given, November 7th, for us to come back for the court to either vacate it or allow it to maintain. So we still have another chance of making sure that Madam Joanna is on the ballot paper come November 7th.
In the instance that this doesn't happen, what will the NDC be doing?
Well, as a party, we are saying that let's wait until November 7th, where we will take action on that, because our fate is on November 7th. Shortly after November 7th, the outcome of November 7th ruling at Secondary High Court will determine to us whether we will have a candidate or not.
Is your candidate, Madam Joanna Jan Kujo, at the moment, is she campaigning in the constituency at Memphis Central?
Of course, she's campaigning. I mean, why not? She's a candidate. Nothing has stopped her from campaigning. She's still our candidate, and the people love her. I'm telling you, if elections were held today, she will get no less than 90% of the valid votes. They like her. She's doing a lot in the constituency, and I can assure you that she's going to win the seat for the NDC. So she's there. She's campaigning.
But Dr. Tanko, with 32 days to the elections, how confident are you that you can field a candidate, and you can field in a candidate at this time and still win the elections?
We have a candidate. Our candidate is Joanna. We have a candidate. She's our candidate for the constituency. We are clear in our mind. Nobody has stopped it. The Electoral Commission, as we speak now, cannot print ballot papers for Memphis Central. They cannot. They have stopped. We have stopped them with the injunction that we placed when we filed the process as a candidate. We have stopped them. And so we are clear in our mind. We are going to have a candidate, and our candidate is Joanna. We will vacate the injunction come November 7th at Secondary High Court.
Dr. Tanko, not to preempt whatever decision the court will take, the MP at the moment who won on the ticket of the NDC is standing as an independent candidate. In the chance that you are unable to field Madam Joanna, and I say again, not to preempt, in the chance that you are unable to field Joanna Jan Kujo, would you look at doing well to bridge whatever, to mend whatever bridges have been broken between you and Peter Kwachiaka to make sure that the NDC can align with him?
No, Peter Kwachi is not more a member of the NDC. As soon as you file independent, you cease to be a member of the party. It's very clear. He's not a member of the NDC anymore. He's gone. We have taken all measures to make sure that he is maintaining the party, but he refused. Even to the highest level, he was called and spoken to. He refused and went ahead to do what he did. And so we are not going to encourage any indiscipline in our party. We are not going to do that, and we are not supporting any bit of that. I can assure you that Madam Joanna will continue to be our candidate after November 7th. She will be on the ballot, and she will win the seat for us.
You are sure of that, Dr. Tanko?
Very sure of that. Very sure of that. I'm telling you. Very, very sure of that. On what basis will the Secondary High Court refuse to vacate the injunction? The injunction was at the instance of our petitioners. They are our party members, and if they are not interested in the injunction, why should they keep it? They cannot keep it.
Before you go, some 34 days till the elections, NDC, as the Deputy Director for IT and Elections, how much are you prepared? Are you now okay with whatever campaigns you have done? Are you so sure of the December 7 elections at the moment?
Yeah, in fact, even if they want, they can bring the ballot boxes tomorrow. We are ready for them. We are itching for the date to come because we are ready. We are prepared. Everything is set for us to win this election. And that is why we are telling the Electoral Commission. You know, they told us that they are giving us the certified register first week of November. It's left with 3 days for the first week to elapse. We are waiting for it. We are ready for the election. Everything is set for the election, and we are winning massively. We don't even need additional day to be added to the date because we are ready. Everything is set. In terms of campaigning, our messages has gone down well. All opinion polls, internal and external opinion polls, are pointed to a one-time victory for John Dramani Mahama. Very clear. We are not saying it. We haven't even come out, and this hasn't come out with its own research. All the researches that are conducted, both Ghana and outside Ghana, they are all pointing towards the victory of NDC. First round victory. And so we are confident in that. We are building on it. We have worked for it. We are not going to fold our arms and say that because there's hardship in Ghana, Ghanaians are going to vote for it. No, we are working for it. And every day we are working for it. And because we want to guard and guide our victory. Because we know the kind of people we are dealing with. We are dealing with two opponents, MPP and Electoral Commission. These are two opponents we are dealing with. So we are working day and night to make sure that we protect our votes and our victory. If we're dealing with one opponent, we won't have any difficulties. But now we are dealing with two opponents, and it's very clear in our mind of that.
Dr. Tanko, following the demise of Madame Ekuadonko of the GFP, many concerns have been raised, and so many conversations have been raised about the possibility of a shift in the way the candidates on the presidential ballot have been arranged. Some have even alluded to the fact that if the GFP does not field any candidate, it will mean that your candidate would have to move from his spot as number 8 to number 7. Have you heard of all of these conversations, and how do you receive them?
Yeah, we've heard of it, but I can tell you, we have made our mind very clear, and our statement clear to the Electoral Commission. We are not going to accept any automatic realignment of the ballot paper. We will not. We will not. That one is very clear. If they want a realignment, then we go for a fresh balloting. Then everybody's position will change. But to think that because Madam Donko died, you will move her out and shift to other position, it won't happen. We told them, and they are aware. They know the position of NDC. This one, they were not going to back. Nobody should even come near us and bring that kind of crap. We have made it very clear. That is why we are saying, fine, they've asked the GFP to bring a candidate. If they bring a candidate, fair enough. Their candidate will take their place. If they don't bring a candidate, they can maintain the ballot paper as it is and cancel Ekuadonko when they are issuing out the ballot papers. But if they don't want to do that and they want to print fresh ballot papers by realigning, let's go for a fresh balloting. That one is very clear. But for somebody to sit somewhere and decide for us, I want to realign you and change your ballot position over our dead body, it won't happen.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Tanko.
I'm grateful.
Dr. Tanko Computer is the Deputy Director for IT and Elections with the NDC. We've had this conversation on the fate of NDC in Amenfi Central. He says that the NDC will be going to court on November 7, and they are very sure that Joanna Jankujo will come back on the ballot papers. On asking about Peter Kwachaka, he says Peter Kwachaka is no longer a member of the NDC. If after everything the NDC did to realign him with the party, he refused, then the NDC no longer accepts him as a member of the party. They don't recognize him as a member. On the elections, he says that following the demise of Madame Ekuadonko, the NDC will not be accepting any automatic realignment of candidates on the ballot paper. If the EC is thinking of that, then the EC should come again. The EC should be looking at a reballoting. But for the NDC, they won't be accepting an automatic alignment on the ballot paper. Anything like that will mean that their ballot position will have to change, and the NDC is not ready for that. That's our conversation on politics today. Thank you for joining us on this. We will be back with more. Stay with us.
significantly improve support for our most vulnerable citizens. From expanding school meal programs, enrolling 300,000 more people in the LEAP initiative, enhancing healthcare for expectant mothers, we've strengthened the fabric of our society. But our work isn't done. We are committed to further enhancing these programs and introducing new initiatives to ensure that every Ghanaian has the opportunity to thrive. Vote for progress. Vote for care. Vote.
Up next is Happy Hour. On Happy Hour, you get to wish your friends and loved ones a happy birthday. To wish them, just get in touch with us via our socials at ABC News GH_, or you can send us a text on 053-916-1609. 053-916-1609. Happy Hour is up next. Some are celebrating their birthdays, and let's help their loved ones wish them a happy birthday on Happy Hour this morning. A happy birthday to Louisa, coming from Stella. Happy birthday to my international woman. Thank you for being a good sister and friend. May this new age mark the beginning of greater blessings for you. I love you. And this is from Stella to Louisa. A happy birthday to you, Louisa. Happy birthday, Ajwa, coming from Nathaniel. A blessed birthday to you, Ajwa. The prayer you said to me yesterday is the same I will say to you today. God bless you, dear. So happy birthday, Ajwa. This is coming from Nathaniel. Another happy birthday to Nat, coming from Fifi. Happy birthday, Nat. You're a good person, and may the Lord continue to bless you mightily. So happy birthday to you, Nat, from Fifi. And this is to Ampong from Emmanuel Amprofi. A happy birthday. Happy birthday anniversary, great Ampong. Wishing you many more years of good health, happiness, and prosperity. May you fulfill destiny. So happy birthday to you, Ampong. This is from Emmanuel Amprofi. And again to Ampong from Jason Yeboah. A blessed birthday to you. Okay, so this is to Gideon. A blessed birthday to you, Mr. Gideon Chere, a member of the Knights of St. John International. This is from Jason Yeboah. A happy birthday to you, Gideon Chere. Wishes we have. If you have any birthday wish for your friend and loved one, you send it to 053-916-1609. 053-916-1609. Over the weekend, the COO for ABC News GH, Mr. George Opoku, celebrated his birthday, and from all of us here at ABC News GH, we wish you a happy birthday, boss. We are glad that you have been blessed with another year, and we pray that many more years are added to your days. A happy birthday to you. We are praying for a year filled with joy and laughter, and we also pray that all of your heart's desires are met and met fully, and we wish you so well. We wish you well, boss. A happy birthday to George Opoku, the Chief Operations Officer for ABC News GH. That's all for Happy Hour this morning. straight into executive interview. On executive interview, we give you the opportunity to come and talk about what you do. We give you the opportunity to open yourself up to Ghanaians to know you and know that venture you are in, that product you're selling, that service you are giving out there. So get in touch with us, 053-916-1609. This segment is for you and for you only. We want you to take advantage of our executive interview. Get in touch with us, 053-916-1609. Let's head straight into executive interview. On executive interview today, we are looking at promoting the production of organic products. So we have the pleasure to speak with Esther Ama-Asante. She is the CEO of Organic Trade and Investments, a small-scale organic products manufacturing company, and they are into the production of organic soaps and other organic skin products. Organic Trade and Investment says every single bar of soap produced tells a story. It's about the hands treatment, and it's about the hands treating the natural ingredients, turning those herbs, fats, and oils into balls, and then compressing those balls into a machine to form squares or rectangles. Countless hours, weeks, and days are spent to create these bars of natural soap. These manufacturers are artists, storytellers, and above all, healers. And they are here to transmit the message of these artists for the rest of the world. In 2022, Organic Trade and Investments exported more than 100,000 bars of handcrafted sodium hydroxide-free soap. Esther Ama-Asante is the CEO and Head of Business Development, Organic Trade and Investment. And let's speak with her. Good morning, Esther. Thank you for joining us.
Yes, how are you?
Yes. Esther, first off, what products do you produce and how do your consumers benefit from your products?
Okay, thank you very much for giving me the chance to introduce my company to you. So Organic Trade and Investment actually is Ghana's or West Africa's premier virtual agribusiness and tech company, which is based in Ghana with global representative offices in 9 countries. Our aim here is really to support small-scale farmers and producers across Africa. For Ghana, for instance, our focus is mainly on semi-finished raw materials, meaning shea butter, cocoa butter, black soap, shea oil. So everything that is meant for the food or cosmetics industry, this is what we focus on for the global economy or the export of products for Ghana. And how it's benefiting people across the world is that these products are chemical free because we are a company that is farming methods to reduce chemicals and also environmental harm. So we do this by using organic fertilizers such as neem cake, shea cake. So it's the residue of neem oil, shea oil. This is what we are using. Basically, this is what currently we are doing with Organic Trade Investment in terms of the products and the usage of the products for the customer.
Esther, how long have you been in this business?
Okay, so we started in 2019, the operations during COVID time, but the company were registered in 2020. We had 2 years to understand the market, to build the capacity of our producers and suppliers, and to also gain the trust of our market for them to be able to finance the projects we are doing.
What has been the major challenge you have faced since the inception of your company?
Especially in Africa, financial aspect of it, nothing is being subsidized, let me say. So we are bootstrapping. Also, we have issues with the consistency of the quality of the product. So we need to train more people and to see that the quality of the product we are selling is consistent and meets the quality high of production is also a challenge.
Esther, can you please
Because we are
reposition
competing
yourself
with
so we
others.
can better hear you?
Come again?
Please reposition yourself so we can better hear you.
Oh, sorry. Today the line is very bad and 10 is very bad today. You hear me better?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay, perfect. So I'm saying that the challenges we are currently having, because we are a company based in Africa, and as you know, we are not having financial support in terms of subsidization of some of the crops that we use as raw materials for production. We also have issues with high cost of production. So in terms of competition on the market, when it comes to pricing, we have Nigeria, we have Uganda, who now they are beating us for the price of shea butter. And we also have issues with consistency of quality of the product. And so we need more personnel to assist us to build the capacity of these people we are working with and to ensure that the quality of the product will meet the standard of the market.
Since you say
Yeah.
that you need more personnel, are you looking at hiring more people to work with organic trade and investments?
Hiring will not be that, I will not say that. I'm saying that maybe the skill set of people that we need. We are currently training people to become a trainer, but that needs lots of time, lots of resources, and we have some people you can train them today, but the attitude you are expecting them to exhibit towards the project, the completion of the project, may not really fit the criteria. So it's a challenge. So I'm talking of the attitude of our youth when it comes to working or completing projects. That is what I'm talking about.
So what are the skill sets you look for in the people you work with at Organic Trades and Investments?
Good. So now, AI is one of the biggest tools we are also using in our company, and we need people who are more dedicated. We are willing to train people to understand how international or global trade works. This one, they don't teach them in schools. So when you come and join us, we will teach you how to understand the challenges or the market needs, the global market needs. So you need to understand how to collect data, to analyze the data, and to also feedback in timely manner the team for us to make an informed decision. You also need to understand the product, the quality of the product, the health benefits, the dangers or the challenges that the market may face. Because lots of products that we are selling, like fonio, we have to put in lots of effort to educate people what fonio is, which is the smallest millet, 100% naturally gluten-free, grown in Ghana and in parts of West Africa. So this one, it took us almost 3 to 4 years to educate the market, understand before we were able to pick up. So before you are able to educate people or the market, you need to educate the people you work with for themselves to understand what products you are selling to the market. So it's a bit of homework that we need to do with the people who are joining us, because this is something that you will not necessarily learn in school. But what we need from the youth is their attitude, change of mindset and change of attitude.
Esther, you do not only produce for the Ghanaian market, you also export your products as well. How has the exports business been like, especially in the wake of the African free trade?
Good. So the thing here is that our company is mostly export focused. So we are doing 80% export and 20% maybe Ghana. Depends on the year. The challenges we are facing for the international export wise, I would say, is the dollar rates, exchange rates, because we are in Ghana, we can't make payment in dollars. We need to make payment in Ghana city. Now, the bank's rates do not tally necessarily with the export rate. Let's say, for instance, the bank is giving me $1 to 15.9. Now, if I'm shipping, the shipping company will tell me their rate is 17. There is a huge gap. Who's going to pay for that? Secondly, it's cheaper for me to ship from Ghana to Europe than to ship from Ghana to any part of African continent. Why? Because the infrastructure is not in place. If you are talking of African continental free trade era, it's good on paper. Unfortunately, practically, because the infrastructure is not put in place, it's very difficult for us to benefit from these free, or what do you call it, very easy circulation of the product. For instance, if I'm shipping something from Togo, getting something from Togo to Ghana, the paperwork involved is more expensive than me getting the product from Ghana to Europe. So this is something that we need to look into and change and make it more flexible to do business among Africans.
Okay. Esther, if somebody wants to enter into a business like this, how much does a person need for a startup in the soap making business?
Okay, perfect. So I'm taking an example of my company. We started with virtually nothing. And you need to be able to start a company with virtually nothing, understand the market. So we started the black soap business with barely 2,000 Ghana cedis. But the thing here is that the consistency, the quality of your product, and your honesty, integrity will build the trust for clients to continue to come. Challenges we are having in Ghana, why companies are not growing, is sometimes due to customer retention. And customer retention is due to lack of consistency of the quality of the product, or how appealing the product looks like. So you don't need much to start a company, honestly. It's when you are growing, you are scaling, that you will need some kind of substantial financial assistance for you to really grow. But in actual fact, you can even start with less than $2,000 Ghana cedis, like we did.
Esther, you say that you do more export, 80% export, but at least there is some 20% that you sell in Ghana. If anybody wants to get in touch with Organic Trade and Investment to buy from you, where can we find you and how can we get in touch with you?
Wonderful. So OTI is actually a B2B company, so we are not selling to users or for personal use. We are looking at companies who buy our product in bulk and resell it or reformulate it. Like the small chocolate makers in Ghana, they buy our cocoa butter for their chocolate making. So you just go on our website, www.oti-gasi.com. Right. You just look up to us on Google, Organic Trade and Investment. You have all the details. You can send an email through the website or contact any of the numbers on the website. But you need to make sure that you are a company or you are buying in bulk before you can do business with us.
Okay. So you only do business with those who are buying in bulk?
Yes, it's a B2B company.
It's a B2B company, right? Right. Thank you for speaking with us this morning.
Thank you too. Have a wonderful day. Bye.
You have a wonderful day too. Esther Amar Santos, the CEO and Head of Business Development for Organic Trade and Investment, there into the African Black Soap, and she says that they are a B2B company. If you want to buy in bulk, you get in touch with them on their website, send them an email or call them. They'll be glad to do business with you. That's it for executive interview. To also speak with us on executive interview, get in touch with us on 053-916-1609. 053-916-1609. Here is how we end the show today on ABC in the morning. We are grateful that you joined us today on ABC in the morning. From Front Story, we looked at cholera outbreak. It has killed 5 in Kaswa. This is a matter that needs urgent attention. Please, whilst the authorities do what they can, you also must do what you can to take care of yourself. Hygiene, personal hygiene, sanitation in and around your environment is very necessary. Take it very, very, very at the top of your priority list, that you are going to maintain and practice personal hygiene, good personal hygiene, and also good sanitary practices. The things we were doing during the COVID are the things you should be doing now. Washing your hands, eat from the right places. People are selling food near a pile of rubbish. There are flies and all. Please take care of yourselves as the authorities do what they can. You too do what you can. Teach your children, the younger ones, what to do, because cholera is a serious issue. You don't want to contract cholera, and we don't want to lose you as Ghanaians. Your family needs you, and Ghana also needs you. On Ghana Speaks, we asked how you are faring in the country with regards to the cost of living. An Afrobarometer report said that about 82% of Ghanaians experience some form of poverty. So we're asking you, have you experienced any form of poverty in the last 12 months? Some of you said yes. Some also said that as the days move on, you too must adjust to be able to fit with the day. And you called us in on Ghana Speaks and you had your say. On Business Fix, we looked at the cocoa industry. We looked at the challenges of the cocoa sector. We spoke with the president for the Cocoa Farmers Cooperative Union. He said that we're going to have the people in the cocoa sector are going to have a meeting with Cocoa Board. We'll be speaking with them subsequently to find out what has come out of that conversation. But they were saying that there are so many issues in the cocoa sector that Cocoa Board must pay attention to. On our main discussion for today, we looked at Ghana's newly launched 5G network. And we also looked at Parliament reconvening on November 7. On politics today, we assess the fate of the NDC in Amenfi Central. The NDC says that they are very sure that on December 7, they will be fielding Joanna Jan Kujo as the parliamentary candidate for the NDC in Amenfi Central. We brought you Happy Hour, where you get the opportunity to wish your friends and loved ones well, and also on Executive Interview, where we tell you to come and talk about your products. We looked at promoting production of organic products. Like we've been saying since I started the show today, Pulse Center is here for you. Everything about elections, you should be tuned into ABC News GH. It is votes, not violence. Keep it in your mind that this election is about your thumb and nothing but your thumb. Don't be used for any form of violence. So stay tuned for the Pulse Center, where we say votes, not violence. We are grateful that you spent your day with us on ABC in the morning. We'll come your way same time tomorrow with more on ABC in the morning. I am Abna Mante. Enjoy your week. It's a start of a new and beautiful week. I wish you well, and I know that the week will come out as much as you're looking out for it to be. Thank you to everybody who called. Thank you to our guests who